All right, how is everybody doing tonight? Welcome to tonight's show. Uh, Wait for some people to come on real quick, and people are coming in. And all right, all right. You see the title tonight, talking about interracial dating and marriage. Who's trying to stop it, and who's mad? Okay, not everybody is okay with interracial dating and marriage. There are some people against it. Some people get angry when they see it. Some people will troll you on the internet. Some people will dox you over it. Some people will give you threats over it. Okay? Most people are okay with it, but we still have haters. Okay? Indigo Moon, good to see you. New to the channel, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Um, but we're going to talk about that. CC, good to see you. Uh, Corvette Gal, good to see you also. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I'm just naturally late these days. Um, but I got some TikTok videos to show you guys, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about interracial relationships, interracial marriage. Is it a good idea? Is the grass greener over the hill, or is it those of us that interracially date and marry? Do we have something wrong with us? Or do we have something? Uh, something mental going on, that we're just weird because we're attracted to someone that don't look like us, someone from another race? Or are we just we fall in love with who we fall in love with? Or are we being strategic? Do we want a relationship that's going to last regardless of race? And some of us out there opened up our options. Some it started with attraction, some it started long ago. Some people opened up their options and feel they found a better option with another racial group. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. I'm not here to say who's better to date and who's not. You can research the stats and find that out. That don't mean because you go in that direction, people have the most success, don't mean you're going to have instant success. You got to vet, you got to look at the stats, look for the warning, the red flags, look for you just got to be careful when you're dating, because I'm telling you, when you date and you get to marriage, then that's when you get to investment. And when you invest, the most important investment you can make is marriage. Okay, for a man and woman, because you choose wrong, it's going to be painful. You choose right, it can be paradise. Okay, not everybody's perfect. You're going to have problems along the way, no matter who you're married to. Okay, because we're people, we're flawed. Do we all have our issues? Okay, but I believe that more people that are successful when it comes to marriage are people that make right decisions, make the best decisions, and it's a character thing too. Okay, um, a marriage or a relationship, for that matter, takes two to make it work. It only takes one to destroy it. One person can have character, the other person doesn't. It's not going to work. You both got to be in. You know, um, and we're finding interracial relationships, interracial marriage. We're finding out that black women, white men are lasting the longest, the most successful. Okay, they've done studies on this. Uh, you know, and we've seen it. And they've also found out that marriage between black women and white men is almost 50% less likely to end in divorce than with two white people. Okay, so when it's black women, white men, we both benefit when we date, when we open up our options and date out. Okay, now the other way around, black men, white women, they do better staying within their race. I don't know why. Maybe decisions they make. I would say that maybe not as strategic, and maybe it's easier for them to date out. So maybe they don't, take the time to make it work. I'm sure there's many things, but I support interracial relationship across the board. Okay, and I want every marriage to be successful. I don't want interracial marriages to benefit because other groups are doing bad. I want everybody to be successful. Good to see you creating one, Tiffany Cutter. All right, but I'm going to show this first one. Okay, this first TikTok I'm going to show is a black woman content creator. Um, she says she's a pro-black woman, and from the videos I've seen, yeah, she's pretty much pro-black. Um, but she announced that she was opening up her options, and the video took off, and then everybody had their opinion. People were mad, angry, jealous, acting crazy, and people were so angry they threatened her online, and that should not be tolerated no matter what. You should never threaten nobody. Okay, we all have our opinions. We all have our ideas what we think is right and wrong, and we choose our own path, and we should respect each other for that, regardless of who we're with, who we're marrying, who we're dating. We should respect everybody's decision and just want the best for them. Okay, we shouldn't get mad because a woman's choosing somebody that don't look like us. That's the most dumb, the most stupidest thing ever. Okay, and a real man don't think about that crap. He's focused on doing what's best, for his relationship, his family, and he's not focused on other people's relationships. One thing I do not like, you don't have to agree with interracial relationships, but one thing I don't like is threatening people. Okay, you can make videos and stating why it's not good or whatever and why you disagree. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But when you threaten people, okay, that's a whole new level of just being wrong. And I think people should be taken off spaces when they get to threatening people, and you shouldn't be going out there doxing people and trying to find out where they work, where they live, and all that crap, just because you don't agree with what they're doing in their own life that don't even affect you. I mean, whoever dates and marries who they do, if you don't know them, it don't affect you. Why do you even care? Why are you even in their space? And if you think we should be segregated, you're not going to be able to control people. You can't. Everybody has a free will. Everybody, you know, once they become adults, can choose to do whatever they want to do. Okay, whether it's right or wrong, that's their choice. And interracial dating and marriage is not wrong. Nothing's wrong with that. If you love the person, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. If you marry within your race, nothing wrong with that either. Okay, as long as you find a person that loves you and you love them, that's what it's all about. It's all about the family. It's all about coming together as a man and woman and building a family. I think too many times in our world today, we're caught up on who's doing it and what race they are, what skin tone they are, and all this craziness. And most of the time, it don't even affect these people that get mad. You know, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Okay. And I'm going to show this video. You've probably seen it. And you can your opinions. And this young lady has a right to date or marry who she wants. Okay, and we should not, shame anybody or go in on anybody by who they choose to be with. That's their business. Okay, and you shouldn't be mad unless you're in unless you're in a relationship with them and they leave you. I could see having some connection and feeling hurt and angry. But if you don't even know these people, that makes no sense to me. But let me put this up here. I like TikTok. I like it. It's kind of addicting watching all these TikTok videos. But let me put this up here. You guys can tell me what you think. And when I'm done with this, I'll open up the panel if you want to come on. And another thing, I will not be going live tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this tonight. So, I have to go out of town. I have to go down to El Paso, and that's about 200. It's about a 4-hour drive, 260 miles or something. So, I'm on. It's going to only be a day trip. I'll be back Sunday. Right image, being upset with someone's love life when it doesn't affect you. Yeah, I mean, why do people do that? Why are they stick their nose in people's businesses that they don't even know? Do they think because they're the same skin color they have a right to get into other people's business? It's kind of weird, you know. Let me put this up here real quick.
I'm not even looking for.
Okay, you seen her? She said black men have threatened to end her life. Wow. Okay, we'll listen to what she says. Okay.
I'm not even looking for sympathy with this video, but please stop what you're doing and listen to this. So, I'm a pro black content creator on TikTok, and a few weeks ago, I made a post saying that I would date outside of my race. I still said I would still date black men, just additionally dating outside of my race. Ever since then,
Okay. So she said she would she's pro black content creator. Okay. They probably really loved her, but then she said she'd open up her and date outside her race. Now people are mad. She said she would still date black men. Maybe she just wants the best man regardless of who it is. You know? She's not saying she didn't say nothing bad about black men. She just said she's opening up her options. What's wrong with that? I I don't know. It just seems weird. Why anybody get mad at that? Okay, but let's continue.
I have been bashed, attacked, and harassed by black men. They have literally made spam accounts harassing me in my DMs. They have made posts about me spreading lies. They have found out my address and found out my mother's name and have threatened to hurt my mother, have threatened to find my sister in her school and hurt her.
Okay, now this is. You hear what she's saying? I mean, this upsets people so much on who she's dating, are thinking about dating, they would threaten her family? Seriously? You would think people would be more mature about this. That okay, I disagree with what you're doing, but oh well. If it makes you mad, make a video and saying, you know what, I think opening up your options is wrong and blah 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 blah, and give your side if that's what you want to do. But to threaten people, to threat her mom and sister, really? Why? Because you don't want to date you or someone that looks like you? Are we that petty? Are we that weak as men that we just get jealous and angry and go and threaten a young lady's life because she don't choose you? Oh well, get over it. It's pretty pathetic. You go through life, there are many women that will not choose you. So what?
They have told me to watch out when I leave my house because they are gonna quote unquote end me. They have told me to kill myself or they will do it for me. I honestly have lost 13 pounds in the past 2 weeks because my anxiety has been super high. And I literally can't fathom the fact that I feel more in danger from my own men than any other group. And the people who are supposed to protect me are the ones who are literally trying to, and I quote, kill me. And every time I speak up about this and I get emotional, people tell me that I'm too.
All right, let me say this. Okay, she says she's pro-black, right? And she's shocked that the men that in her community are threatening her instead of protecting her. And I would say to those that are against interracial dating and marriage, you better start treating your women right. The women in your community right, because you know what? You're going to have women divest and go to other races of men. And if that hurts your feelings, be a man and marry the women in your community. Or you're going to see this. And I've seen women that are so pro-black they would never date outside the race, and they end up doing it because of crap like this, being threatened, being shamed, being treated like crap. Because it don't matter how much a woman loves you, if you treat her bad enough times, she will leave and go elsewhere. And this young lady probably wants to be with a black man. From what I've seen in her videos, pretty much that's what she wants, right? But something's going on here. And I can almost guarantee, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I bet the guy that threatened her don't even know her. I bet the guy that threatened her, has no clue. I bet he's just some jealous dude that's worried about how one group of people is going to look over the other. We got to protect our image. Really? If you lived like an individual and worried about yourself, you would live a better life and you would be that quality man. But no, you got to shame a young lady because she says who she's going to date? Really? How weak is that? And the person that did that, how weak does that make you look? Does that help your community? Give it a good image? I'm just saying. But anyway, let's continue on with this.
Sensitive. And I think you guys forget that people who are content creators are still human. We have feelings. We are like famous people. They're everyone who is known, content creator, all of that. We are still human. I don't know why you guys think that we are just brick walls that are going to be unbruised after you literally show so much hate and threaten our lives. So I'm really just begging y'all to please stop, because you're not only putting me in danger, you're putting my family in danger. And it's really not that deep. A black woman who is dating all races is really not that deep for you guys to go to this level and do this. I'm sorry the post blew up. It wasn't meant for everybody. I was speaking to my followers only. I didn't expect it to blow up, but you guys are taking it so far and I'm really just exhausted. I'm tired. I'm depressed. My anxiety's high. And I just feel in so much danger. I can't even leave my house. And I'm at a loss for words because I really was not expecting this, especially from black men.
Okay. So that's pretty pathetic, right? This woman's threatened by saying who that she was going to open up her options. And you know what? Black men should be checking the guy that did this. Black men should be showing her love because that's a young lady. If she chooses to date out, you still have to protect her as a woman, whether it's you or not, or black guy, white guy, it don't matter. But this takes a toll because young lady's afraid. She's afraid of her family. Why? Because you don't like who she's dating? Is it that deep? Like she said, is it that deep who she's with? But you know what? You're going to push her away. I mean, it's sad. It shouldn't have happened to her. She's just a content creator saying what she feels. That's what content creators do. And like she said, they're people too. And she's a huge one. She's you know, gets a lot of views and stuff, a big content creator. And because she said she's going to open up her option, she deserves to be threatened now. She deserves to be put through that, through stress, depression, anxiety. Hmm. I don't know. That's pathetic. But hey, so I say to you guys that are content creators, just be careful. You got weirdos out there. As tiny as my channel is, I've gotten hate. I've gotten threats. Back before I even had been monetized, I was getting threatened just because I said how I feel about black women, and it was kind, loving stuff. It wasn't. There's just people out there that are weirdos like that. I want to show another video, and everybody, you go in and look at her TikTok channel. You know, show her some love. I mean, because that's just wrong. Whether you agree with her dating choices or not, show her love because that ain't right. You know, but yeah. But anyway, uh, okay. Put her handle here. It's gosh, what is it? It's the life of Barbie. A life of Barbie. Let me put her back up here. Let me see here. It's there. A Barbie's life. A Barbie life. Okay, it's a. Oh wait, gosh dang it! I spelled it wrong. Okay, I'm gonna put it up here for you guys. Okay, it's a Barbie life. BARBIELIFE. Okay, so check out her chat. She's on TikTok. I I watch some of her videos to see where she's at. When it comes to this stuff, and she pretty much pro black. Okay, she did say she would open up her options, and then one of the videos she said, "Well, I didn't mean white," or because some guy was mad because saying that she was going for white guys, and I don't think she likes white guys. I think she's just opening up her options, you know, and that's her right. No, no shame in that. But yeah, check out her TikTok and show her some love. That ain't right, you know. Yeah, like and share, yeah. Go over there and give her some hearts on her video. Okay, I got another one, and it deals with this, right?
Hey y'all,
Okay, this woman's going to be putting on makeup and talking to us, okay? Um, but she has an issue with interracial dating. Okay, most black people who date interracial are lost. Okay, she's saying you're lost if you're dating interracially. And she's going to explain to us why. And that's fine. Let's go ahead and hear what she says.
hey y'all. So recently, I just seen a Barbie Life, which is a content creator who makes content about colorism and stuff, say that she's about to start interracially dating because black men give her the most hate, and her dating non-black men, she's gonna open up her options and X, Y, and Z. And this has been a common theme. I've made 2 videos on this before. You can scroll back on my page and find them, where I was basically saying how interracial dating is not going to save black people. Whether that goes for black men who date the, oh, I only like white women because black women are so X, Y, and Z, or the black women who are going where they're loved. Both of them are lost. And
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Both of them are lost that interracially date. No, I disagree. Okay, there are reasons why people date out. Okay, black men have their reasons. Black women have their reasons. Okay, it's not lost. You know, and I've been told that for years because I like black women. Something's wrong with me, and you know what? I found the love of my life dating out. You know, and I was not lost, or my wife. We knew exactly what we wanted. So I would say no, they're not lost. They just made a choice. And you might not like it, and that's her right. If she don't like it, I don't hate her for it. That's fine. That's her opinion. But I will disagree on that. No, they're not lost. They're looking for the better option. Okay? And especially when it comes to black women. You know, And you know what? We're finding out that marriages with black women, white men are more successful than two black people or two white people. Just saying. So if they're lost, maybe it's good to get lost. I don't know. But anyway, but let's continue. Okay, let me move it here. We'll continue what she says.
them dating interracially is not going to save them, and it's not going to save black people. It's definitely not going to save their children. And so I've already made 2 videos about this. So this one
Okay, let me add to this. She says it will not save the black community. It will not save black men and women or black children. Okay, won't save them, but you know what? If you look at it statistically, marriages last longer with black women, white men, so it actually benefits the black community. And I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but the more black women that are married and have loving husbands, whether they're black or white, they're better off, and the community they're in is better off. And us as a nation are better off when we have more long lasting marriages. And statistically, young lady, um, I know you don't agree, and I know you want it to be a certain way, but the truth is the truth. They're finding out black women, white men, their marriages are lasting longer. You know, they're so. I mean, I don't want no community to have bad marriage stats, but the truth is the truth. And no, people ain't lost because they're opening up their options. They're doing it for a reason. Maybe because they're seeing what's really going on, so that's why they open up their options. I opened up my options because I found black women are a better option. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's not out of hate. It's not because I didn't have a clue and out lost wandering around. It's because I could see. I seen the truth. And I've been around several years, a lot older than this young lady. So I know a little bit more going back to the 80s. Okay. When I was her age, it was, the mid 1980s. So, you know, but anyway, let's continue.
I want to touch on some different points as to, again, why this thought process does not make sense. And people who think like this, black people who think like this, are lost, whether they're men or women. First of all, it's about mindset. I feel like it's 2022 and there's plenty of information about consciousness, about mindset, about choices, about law of attraction, all of these things.
Okay, let me stop it there. Yeah, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of stats out there when it comes to marriage interracially and different racial groups, how successful they are. There is information. I don't know about the consciousness and all this stuff, but there's stats out there. There's hard evidence that certain marriages work and some not so much. Okay. And she believes you're lost if you're interracially date, whether you're black woman or black man? And I would say no. Some people fall in love with people of a different race. And that's not being lost. That's just where your heart is. And you know what? There are stats out there. Look at it from black women and white men and see what the stats are. You don't think it's a good idea. You don't think they know what they're doing. You think they're lost, but I totally disagree. Very much so. Okay. All right. You were on another live. What'd you miss? Oh, nothing. I'm just showing TikTok videos and I'm just listening to what people's opinions. Okay. And there was a young lady that was threatened for saying she was going date outside her race. And this young lady, disagrees with it and thinks black people are lost and something mentally going on. I disagree. But you make the call. Do you think she's right? Or do you think people that are dating and marry outside their race are lost? Or do you think that they're just in love with someone of another race or find that a better option? Anyway, let's continue.
If you believe in your mind that as a black man, there's no black women that can meet your standards, and thus you go date white women, that is a mindset that you have. That's not actually a fact. When you are a black woman who believes that no black men can meet your standards or that no black men are attracted to you, that is a mind. And so you start dating non-black men in order to fix your problem. That is a mindset thing that you have. That is not a fact. And when y'all start going off of these, that's really a limited and a lack mindset for you to believe that there are millions of black people in the world, but you can't find one that likes you or you can't find one that meets your standards. Like, that's a lack perspective, and people that operate off of lack tend to fuck themselves over, to be honest.
Okay. All right. First of all, they're not effing themselves over by opening up their options. Okay. And yeah, there are millions of people in this world. But what are black women supposed to do? Search the whole world till they find that black man that's right for them, that's going to love them and, marry them and stuff. For your information, young lady, there are approximately 2 million more black women than black men. There's a number issue, okay? And it's about numbers. 2 million more black women than black men. Black men date and marry out twice as much as black women, okay? So that lowers a black woman's chance not just finding a good black man, but finding a black man, period, to marry. So no, it's not a crazy mindset. They're looking at reality. From the women I talk to, they tell me they want to be married. They have to open up their options. It's not a mindset or putting themselves and effing themselves over. No, actually, they're doing something that to help themselves. Okay? And then black men are attracted to, there's a number of black men attracted to white women. What are you going to do? They're going to go where they're attracted to. You're not going to stop it. Okay? And what we need to worry about is not who's dating who and being race loyal, but who's getting the best option when it comes to marriage. Let's focus on that, huh? Let's focus on, are they getting the right husband or wife? Why don't you focus on that instead of a mindset? You think that way. You think, but you go ahead and, you stay within your race, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, there are good people in many different racial groups. And black women need to open up their options, not because I think they need to go with the white guy. No, because the numbers are not in black women's favor. Not at all. Even if black men married them 100%, there would still be approximately 2 million black women left alone. And you're going to shame black women for that? Nobody's looking at this logically. Nobody's looking at this making sense about it. If you look at it logically, people need to open up their options. And if you look at the marriage stats, you'd say black women are better off opening up their options. It's there. The data's there. It's logical. We see it in the world today. But we're going to pretend like we just got to be race loyal and we'll be better off. I don't think so. Integration is the answer. And I know people say, well, there's still hate. It hadn't worked. Well, it works in God's time. God's children wanted to be let out of the bondage of the Egyptians, right? They're there, what, 400 years? It took a little time, but God delivered. God's going to deliver. And it's going to be integration. You cannot be segregated. But yeah, she's brainwashed. Yeah. And and that's her right. If she can believe that, but the thing of it is she's not looking at numbers, she's not looking at marriage stats. She's going on what she believes. And she's going to be there for the black man, and maybe later on in life, unless she finds that good man, she might end up opening up her options. Telling you, never say never. Hey, Beverly Johnson, good to see you. Wouldn't marry her. Yeah, I mean, but is she even thinking about marriage? Maybe she's just, wants to date just black men. That's it. And this is how she feels. I don't know. I mean, that's her right. I mean, no hate towards her. I'm not mad at her. A lot of black women think like this, and maybe, been taught this. So I can't really get upset. It just, she's not really dealing in facts. It's more of how I feel. But anyway, let's continue.
A lot of people that marry interracially, see, y'all only listen to the people in interracial marriages that say that it worked out. And I find that to be interesting because when y'all hear black love stories that worked out, y'all ignore the fuck out of those. But y'all hear somebody say that they was happy with a white person or a non-black person, and y'all eat that up and ignore all of the other people who have been in interracial marriages who come out and say that it was very difficult, their partner was racist, their partner doesn't understand them, they turned out to just be a fetish for their partner. Y'all ignore all of that.
Okay, what do you guys think? Is she right? When black love, works out and it's successful, it's just ignored. But when somebody gets with a white person, it's celebrated, and and people ignore the black love stories that work out. What do you think? I mean, what do you think? Is she right? I've heard a lot of people say how Michelle and Michelle Obama and Barack, their marriage is so beautiful, black love, that's how it looks. Um, I don't know. I hear a lot of people say that. What about Denzel Washington and his wife? What about here's a black love story. What about Richard Ralph Banks and his black wife? I'm just saying they won't put that one out there. Um, but is that true? Do they ignore black love, but if it's interracial love, they're all for it? I disagree with that. I think when black couples are successful, it's highly celebrated. I think even if it's just if it's struggling by, it's celebrated. I think interracial marriages, I don't see many people uplifting interracial marriages. I don't see many people talking on social media and say, dang, the Lovings, man, the marriage lasted a long time. They went through, segregation and all the racial laws and they made it work. Man, that's a good couple. They got character. She stood by his side. He was strong and he fought for them to be together. Do we hear that a lot? I mean, people make videos around Loving Day. I don't know. Is she right? That's how deep the black male worship is. Okay. Yeah, I think she would go to the mat for the black man. She already is. I think she would go all the way. And even if she's in bad relationships, she would go in. She would, you know, be there for the black man no matter what. Till maybe she gets older in life and says, you know what, this other guy wasn't so bad. I don't know. Oh, thank you for the super sticker. Defender of black woman, burning of capes. Oh, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. That was really kind of you. Thank you so much. Uh anyway, let's play some more of this. But thank you for the super sticker. I greatly appreciate that. Very much. Okay, let's continue.
Then y'all also ignore, y'all be, especially for the women, because women do it typically because of colorism and because black men don't like them. But then y'all go off and have non-black partners and then make mixed kids that are anti-black. Baby, if you as a black person have animosity and bitterness towards black men or black women or whatever, you don't think your kids are gonna have that same thing, and then you're gonna continue to perpetuate the same thing that you're trying to run from, which is anti-blackness.
Okay, let me get into this. Okay, just because they have these black women might have been mistreated because of colorism, and then maybe they get with a white guy and have children. So that automatically means they're going to hate black people? No, that I don't buy that at all. Me and my wife have 3 children, biracial children, and they do not hate black people. They love black people. Half their family is black. Of course, we would never teach them to hate. I mean, come on, young lady, seriously? You believe because they interracially marry that their kids are going to hate black men because the black woman might feel some kind of way? I don't buy that. I mean, they might warn them of stuff black men has done, but there's not going to be hate. I don't buy that. I think that's just. I think she's angry because she's seeing interracial marriages. You know, I think she's angry because she sees people dating out. She don't think it's right, and you can tell she's kind of looks like she's angry. Anyway, let's finish this off real quick.
And all around, like I said, people, I wish I had more time to talk about this. I need to get on YouTube.
Yeah, I wish I could debate you on this because this is ridiculous. I would come with stats and stuff, and you know, but ladies, it's your option. This young lady, and I have no, I'm not going to go and dox her and go in and throw threats. I don't agree with anything she's saying, but she's a human being. She has a right to her opinion, her beliefs, and God bless her. If that's how you believe, young lady, go ahead. But you got some life to live, and let me know 20 years later, do you still feel that way? I'm just saying. Anyway, sorry I'm behind on the comments here. But yeah. All right, let me take the young lady off the screen real quick.
Relation.
Okay, this young man, he well, we'll get to him in a minute here. Let me okay. But seriously, ladies, go for the best option. Men are men, black or white, you know what? Go for the one that loves you. Go for the one that has character. Go for the one that's going to be there for you. Okay? And you know what? Open up those options. There's not just white men out there. There's Asian, there's Hispanic, there's all different groups of men out there. Okay? And you should have, be able to open up your options if you want to. If you don't want to, hey, that's your right too. Nobody should hate you for what your choice is. Nobody should. You had enough of her. Yeah, I took her down. She's angry. Young lady's angry. Like, gosh, really? Because black men don't want. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But the other young lady, she wanted to date black men and open up her options. They showed her hate. You know. Let's hear from this young man. This is a young black man. He looks like he's a teenager, or maybe in his early 20s. They took that stuff from us. Okay. All right, let me put this young man up here real quick. He's going to give us some insight about being attracted to a different race. Okay. All right, young man, come to the center of the stage and we'll hear what you got to say. Interracial relationships are not natural. Okay. And there's going to be a black man that, talks about what he said. Let's go ahead.
Interracial relationships are not natural. Y'all gonna hate me for this one, but I don't give a fuck.
Okay, no, we're not going to hate you, and please don't cuss, okay?
So this guy has two main premises to his video. The second one is idiotic, and he says that basically white people and black people are as dissimilar as lions and giraffes.
Yeah, he did say some stuff like that. We didn't watch the whole video, but no, we're not different. We're human beings, black and white. We're just human beings, okay? But this guy kind of breaks it down. Let's continue.
That's so ignorant it's not even worthy of addressing. But his other point is just offensive. What, if you get with somebody of a different race, that means people in your own race didn't love you? You didn't get the love from the community? Relationships are kept together by any number of...
Okay, let me stop there. How many times have you heard that you interracially date out? Oh, well, they must not have wanted you. That's why you dated out. I've had trolls come in and say, well, Becky didn't want you, so you went to the black woman. Really? When there's millions more white women? I mean, if I want a white woman, I could get one. I mean, women outnumber men. I mean, across the board. No, but people say that, right? And he's addressing that. No, that ain't the reason. There's millions of people. But anyway, but people will say that to make you feel bad. Oh, they don't love you, so you had to go outside your race. Okay, let's continue.
Commonalities, religion, socioeconomic status, class, where you grew up, things like that. I'm more likely to have a successful relationship with a white Jew than with a black Christian because religion is so important to my life. To reduce...
Okay, you hear what he said? He would have, a better relationship with a white Jew than a black Christian because of his religion. I tend to agree. I am a Christian. I would have a much better relationship with a black Christian woman than a white Muslim woman because of religion, or a white Buddhist. I mean, yeah, and that's important to me. There's a lot of variables when it comes to interracial, or not just interracial relationship, but any relationship. There's a lot of variables why you choose that person, why you're with that person. And you should address these things, because it shouldn't be just because you're attracted and lust and you jump in. That most likely does not work. I mean, there's an exception to every rule, but yeah. Anyway. All right, go ahead.
Compatibility between two human beings just to race? Or to say that someone looking outside of their race shows there's some type of familial or community lacking? This just goes to show there's something you gotta unlearn.
Okay, what do you think about this man here? He looks like he's up in age like myself. Makes sense, right? You cannot, and it's stupid to say that it's unnatural to be attracted to someone that's of a different race. You know, it's, I mean, I see women of all races and they're beautiful. I see a lot of beautiful women of all races. Okay. I prefer to be with black women because I have love. That's where my heart is. I have love for black women. And I feel black women have more character and are more loving and nurturing. And, you know, so that's why I'm with a black woman. Okay. Well, and I do think they're the most beautiful too, physically too. Black women do, you know, my love for black women fires on all cylinders. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, I mean, you name it. Okay? And that's one of the reasons my marriage is successful because that's where my heart is and that's who I love. And I opened up my options and I'm, you know, receiving the rewards daily. You know, I'm blessed daily, you know. But I don't know. What do you think about this? Sinji don't make up until she burned the cape. Yeah, burn the cape, ladies. We're burning capes tonight. Becky, you never had a cape to burn, so sorry. Ugh. All right. Yeah. But serious, what do you guys think? You think these young ladies and this, well, I'm not gonna say young man. I'll call him a young man. Young man has good points. Do you think, you know, if we look at relationships logically, if we look at stats and we look at people how we're treated, who would you choose to date and marry? You need to ask yourself, not go in and listen to me speak or these ladies speak, or what you need to do is observe, and you can look at data and stats, and who would you want to be with? Who would you want to be married to? What do you want in a marriage? Hey, Corey, good to see you. What do you want in a marriage? Do you want someone that looks like you? Are you pro black? Are you pro white? Are you pro Asian? Are you pro whatever? Or do you just want to be with someone that loves you? And ladies, what do you want out of a man? Do you want a man that's got a good job, a man that works hard for you, a man that lets you know that he loves you, you know, and would do anything for you? And if you want that, because all women want that, right? Does it matter what color he is? Does it matter if it's a white guy or a black guy or an Asian guy? I'm just saying, because everybody's got their opinion. Everybody will tell you what they think is right and wrong. Everybody, you know, almost everybody will tell you what they think you should do. But the bottom line, it's your choice, it's your life. And I would say to white men out there, do not be discouraged because you see black women that don't like interracial relationships. Do not get discouraged because you see a black woman that says she won't have nothing to do with white men, it's black men only. Do not get discouraged from that. Okay? Not everybody's the same. Okay? People might want to live in the collective, but truth be told, we're all individuals and we all have our preferences. We all, you know, have, you know, who we love, what we think beauty and attraction is, and what we want out of life. And I'm telling you, there's black women that won't give you the time of day. They're out there. But there are black women that will. You treat them with kindness, love, respect, you'd be surprised. And I'm telling you, black women, I say this over and over, and don't just look at because I'm married to a black woman. I'm telling you, this is true. Black women statistically are the best option when it comes to marriage for white men. And I'm going to tell you why. Because our marriages are more successful when we marry a black woman opposed to a white woman. And we don't get attacked for dating white women or marrying them. We don't. Nobody cares. A black woman, yes, it's an issue. But we're more successful when we marry the black woman. And that's statistically true. That's not emotions here. This ain't what I think. This is, research people have done. This is studies people have done. So, I know we're emotional people, and ladies, you got a lot of emotion, okay? Because ladies, you got a kind heart. Black women, you got a kind heart. You're nurturing. You want to lift up the men in your community. I get it. That's how you are, ladies, and it's valuable. And black women, you're loyal, and that's why when we marry you, our marriages last longer. That's truth. And when more men open their eyes, say it's going to be a done deal. And I've seen so many people I've talked to that have long lasting marriages, black women, white men, several years. Okay. Me and my wife, 28 years, over 28 years. Okay. We're not perfect people. We got our issues, but we love each other. We thought about the future. We're traditional. We're strategic. Both me and my wife. Ladies, in my opinion, that's what people should shoot for. The long run. They should, choose each other, because you love that person. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, their character. Black women have amazing character. A lot of black women do. I fell in love with black women because they have character, because black women are so kind and nurturing and loving. And, I sometimes I see black women, I just want to hug them and embrace them. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I just mean, I just have love for them. They're just awesome. Okay? And ladies, you've shown your character. And when I see men go out there and tell black women they need to do better, how much better does a black woman have to do when she's the most educated, most loving, most nurturing? Black women are the most loyal. What more? What more? And it's sad that black women are taken for granted like that. It's sad. Because they are the best option. They're telling you, and the stats are bearing it out. The truth is surfacing. People cannot hide the truth forever. Creating One says, I like men, preferably blue collar like Jesus. Yeah. That's right. He was a carpenter, right? Blue collar worker. Yeah. The blue collar worker runs America. They might not be in charge, but they're the muscle, the backbone of America is the blue collar worker. The guy that works every day, does the 9 to 5, serves in the military. That's who carries the weight. The middle class blue collar worker, yes. And Jesus did. Yeah, he was a carpenter. Yep, he was a blue collar. Yep. The truth will prevail. The truth is surfacing. And ladies, look at things logically, as much as you can. I know there's emotion there. I know there's love in your community, and there should be. I know, but there are good men of other races that do love you, and you are valuable. You're top of the top. It's easy for me to believe that black women have the evening. I mean, black women are so resilient. Even the stuff you're put up with, somehow you pull through. And you know what? It shouldn't be that way. You should There should be a man there doing the work for you, providing for you, doing it for you. You should just be able to be there, be loving, loyal, beautiful. That's it. Seriously. So, ladies, your your love, everything about you is valuable. Do not waste it on a garbage man, okay? Don't waste it on a man that don't deserve you. Do not do it. If you got to open up your options, you got to do what you got to do, but go with the man that loves you, the man that deserves you, because you know you're too valuable for that. You're too beautiful inside and out. You have too much character for that, ladies. And if a man don't give you all of him, he don't deserve you. If he's not willing to sacrifice for you and love you with all his heart and love you like Jesus loved the church, he don't deserve you. Garbage man is not personable. I don't mean garbage man like the guy that's his job. I mean men that are trash, men that are just, all out for themselves, that use women. That's what I meant by garbage man. I hope that wasn't anybody took that the wrong way. I have respect for the garbage man because we need that service, and you know, I have. So I hope nobody thought I meant that. I meant the man that's trash, the man that's out for himself, that won't provide or protect. I'm talking about that guy. Okay. Understood what you meant. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't want some guys always say, "Hey, that's what I do for a living." And that's not what I meant. Um, you know, we need, you know. But anyway, I'm going to open up this panel if you want to come on. Okay, and you can give me your opinion and you know, show that young lady some love, okay? And look, regardless of who she's with, she deserves love and respect. Okay? And because she's a content creator does not mean that you can go trash her because you disagree. And seriously, and if any of you guys ever know of somebody that's threatening somebody, report that. That's unacceptable. Okay? On YouTube, TikTok, and all these social media platforms, we all have our opinions, our thoughts, right? And it's about free speech. We could say, how we feel. And you know what? We need to respect people, even if they disagree. If some black woman comes up and makes a video how trashy and nasty white men are, that's her right to do so. And I don't have the right to give her any threats or, you know, you know, people can believe what they want. Now, I can make a reaction video on what I think. That's fine. And that's the way it should be. YouTube should be a thing where we go in at each other and leave it at that. We don't dox. We don't try to destroy people. We just, say how we feel. And threats, that's not acceptable. That is totally wrong. Garbage men don't have student loan debt and make more than teachers. Yeah, they do. Garbage men make pretty good money. And like I said, I have nothing against them. I need, in society, we need people taking our garbage. We need people dealing with sanitation. Okay, they do a service for us. They take care of the garbage and they, break it down and, you know, So yeah, they're very much needed and should be respected. Um, yeah, and it's terrible. What teachers make. Teachers should make more money. The good teachers should get bonuses. You know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Not what they do for a living. I'm retired now. They can have it. Oh well, awesome. And thank you for your service as a teacher, teaching the children in our nation. You know, your what you do is very important. You know, big love for teachers. Yes. You know what? My kids have had great teachers. Um, I've had my kids have had such great teachers. They prepared them for college and challenged them. Amen for retirement. Yes. Well, thank you. True, I made small talk with them, and I guess they are too busy to speak. Oh, you talking about white men? Is that what you meant? I don't know. Okay, let me open up the panel here if you guys want to come on. Okay, I'm not going to stay up too late tonight. I got to get on the road tomorrow. I got to go down to El Paso and me and Sandy, so I'm not going to go too late tonight. I don't want to be on the road tired. But there's the link if you guys want to come on. You want to talk about this subject, you know, it's there for you. Your opinions, what you think. It's welcome. So the panel's up there. Okay. Hey, El.
It's
What's
always
it?
L. I mean, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on your mind? I'm sorry. No, your
Yeah, the icon's
avatar
always
says L.
L
Yeah.
all the time. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
What's
I was just like the second video is what I had a problem with because simple fact that I just don't understand why or you know people who prefer to stay within their own race, why are they concerned about interracial relationships? Why are they concerned about people they get in interracial relationships with? Why do they care? It's like you're not in an interracial relationship, so it's really not your concern to be involved in it. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be worried about it. And it's like it's so funny that these same people would talk smack on social media, but you will never see them say that to your face if you're walking down the street. They
Well,
would
no.
never do that. They would never do that because they would get checked quick. But
Mhm.
they have a lot to say on social media about interracial relationships, even though they're not in one. And then the one thing that makes me mad is like, why are they're talking about, oh, uh, they're going over there because they're hurt. Um, hurt? What do you mean? We're going over there because we're hurt? No, we're going over there because we want to find happiness no matter who it is.
Yeah.
That's that's period point blank. you know and it's just so it really frustrates me when
Yeah.
I'm just so over it. I'm so over people who constantly critique interracial relationships and they're not even in one. It's a
Yeah.
lot of these people who are in same race relationships and they want to come over and critique interracial relationships. And then there's another thing that really made me mad was like, oh, y'all think that interracial relationships are going to end racism. We know it's not going to end racism. We freaking know that. And
Yeah.
it didn't even interracial relationships were going on way back
Yeah.
when it was illegal. People were sneaking around and stuff and doing it, and it didn't end racism. Why would you think that we think it's going to end racism now? It's not.
Yeah. It's not. I think it will help it. It's not going to get rid of it. But that's like saying in church, if we love each other, we'll get rid of sin. No, you won't. I mean,
You won't.
you can beat it down, you could suppress it a little bit, but it's always going to be there. Racism, it won't go away. I
No,
mean,
it won't.
what we need to do is, suppress it, make it to where it's not a norm, where it's
Yeah, I mean,
y-
and you know what makes me so what do you know what's so funny about about a lot of the pro-black stay in your own race people? They use the same talking points that white supremacists use, like the one drop
yeah,
rule. White
yeah,
supremacists came up with the one drop rule.
they did.
They came up with the one
Uh,
drop rule, and it's just so hilarious when I see, that when I seen that black woman using the one drop rule stuff, and then just all this other bull crap. It's like you're using the same talking points that white
mhm.
supremacists use, and y'all sit there and complain about white supremacists. Y'all
Yeah.
complain about white supremacists, but y'all use white supremacist talking
Yeah.
points.
Yeah,
Extremism is dangerous. It is dangerous no matter who speaks it.
Exactly.
Extremism is dangerous, and I want no participation in it. People
yeah,
who worship one particular thing can't see anything other. To me, in this day and time, I don't care if you're 20 or 22 or 82, you should be evolved enough to see that in the world, you should not be leaning to no pole, okay? To the left, to the right, anything, because we should be too evolved for that. I mean, anyone who thinks that way, I mean, they need to check themselves. They really do,
yeah,
because
Right.
Exactly. You're problematic. You're dangerous as far as I'm concerned. If you can't think for yourself other than what somebody pipes into your head, you're dangerous.
Yeah,
You're
and
truly
it just makes
dangerous.
me mad. I'm so tired of always critiquing interracial relationships. I was like, where's your man at, ma'am?
Yeah.
Where's your
yeah,
man at? Where's your relationship at? You on there putting makeup on and stuff like you going on a date, but you're worried about what another black woman is doing with her body and who she's laying up with. That
Okay.
ain't none of your business.
Okay.
Worry
yeah,
about your own relationships. That's what I'm so tired. I'm like so over it with these same race, these pro-black same race, keep it in your own race people. Like, mind your business.
Right.
yeah,
Because none of y'all would have that smoke for us on the streets if you saw us walking on the streets, because we would check you for real. You would have no smoke for us on
yeah,
the streets. Y'all say all this stuff on social media. I'm like so over it. Like, at this point, if somebody say something ignorant, like they will literally just look at you, suck your teeth, and say something behind your back. And then you turn around like, what you say? Nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I thought so.
yeah,
Period. Because I've had to deal with that when I'm on the streets, and none of them say nothing to me. They can give me the eyes, roll their eyes, and say whatever the heck they want to say, but trust and believe they wouldn't say that dead to my face. Y'all got all that smoke to say on fucking TikTok, excuse my language, on TikTok and Twitter and all this other stuff and on YouTube, but y'all would never say that to us in our face. Period. Mind your business. I'm so over it. Like, it at the point it's starting to get irritating.
yeah.
It's
The
really
ones
starting to get
It,
that
irritating.
are the young ones are lost. And
yeah,
one of the reasons why they are lost is because they have no identity. And so they are latching on and clinging on to whatever. It's very easy for them to be brainwashed, more
yeah,
so than the millennials and our generation X. Because I
yeah,
mean, I even give boomers a lot of wide berth, because they came through Jim Crow. But
yeah,
I have nothing but sympathy for these young kids, because they're the ones who vote out of emotion. They're dangerous and they
yeah,
don't think about the consequences. And then the first thing they think when everything gets reset is what happened. Dear, when you cast a vote, you deal with 4 years and everything that sits permanently. Okay. You're running around worrying about this idea or this idea that somebody gets, and they're grabbing them up. I guarantee you, she's probably a young lady, the one with the beautiful fro. She's
mhm,
probably someone who has a militant dad or a militant uncle who's probably got a whole bunch of single mothers under his stead.
mm,
Children probably hardly ever see him, and he's probably heralded as some kind of champion in the family because he probably may have a decent job or there's like, he's probably got one little thing to his credit, and everybody raises the banner for him to being the best thing that they've ever seen, because they don't just manifest out of thin air, not from generation.
Mm-mm.
They don't come out of thin air. Somebody is pouring this stuff into them, and
it's taught.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Afro Puff Queen, welcome to
Hi, Afro Puff Queen.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. So yeah, for reference, I'm a divested young Black woman. I'm 20 and I'm in college. And what I have to say is the fact that these statistics are presented, that the marriages between Black women and white men, it's very telling of the low self-esteem that some Black women have. Like, I think that's what it is. Like, the biggest issue is them not believing that they can date out. I feel like we've just been raised to only prefer Black males, and that's why they feel like they just refuse to open their dating pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then and also this fear mongering needs to stop. And I'm starting to see Black women participate in the fear mongering as well. And it's so many of us are dying because of that. Like, I feel like with this Black femicide rate, like this sort of rhetoric is just dangerous. Like, these women are just kind of leading other Black women in not the best direction.
Yeah, it's very dangerous, especially right now. It's very dangerous.
It really is.
I feel really bad for that young lady, Barbie, because this is the part that really my heart aches for them, is because they're going to flip. And when they flip, they're going to have headhunters after them. This is what Barbie's going through. She is not believing half of what she was talking about. She has been brainwashed into this I mean, come on.
Yeah.
She comes from, let's think about it. Progressively, Black men date or marry out more. I promise you, she's got mixed nieces and nephews in her family, mixed cousins, and they're created by Black men. They're not believing half of the stuff that they're talking about, but they're just trying to hold that banner, because very much so, oftentimes when these men make these women single mothers, they're just women. They're just part of their, of their cattle. But I promise you, especially this young one with the who is really, really marching.
Yeah.
She could flip any day, because see, here's the thing, they don't really have any roots in nationalism. They have their parents. I probably could have given birth to that girl. And I know I didn't have any of that. A majority of Generation X, whether they chose to date out or not, they were not born, in the 60s. If they were, they came in the late 60s, born after civil rights movement. So many of them probably went to school and went to college or worked with people, and they know that people are people. I mean, they may choose to date and marry who they want to, but they're not nearly as thickly, densely racist as a lot of the folks that come out of the boomer generation. So when I hear a 20-something, because I'm pretty sure this young lady, she's probably no more than 25 years old.
If that.
She's been pulled into some little pocket, and she could flip any day. This is why my heart reeks for her, because the moment she flips with all of this talk, it's gonna be just like Barbie. She's gonna be hiding out, she won't have no one to hold on to, because she would have broken her loyalty with the group she was stomping for, and then people who accept her for potentially dating out aren't going to trust her because of the rhetoric that she has already. See, because it took years for me to really start listening to Sinji, because I remember Sinji was just so, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how can a young woman this intelligent from my generation, because she's actually younger than me. I think she's about maybe 6 or 7 years younger than me. But how can a woman this intelligent be so pro-Black men? I don't get it. I don't get it.
And here's the thing that is just makes me upset, is that she is being silenced for expressing how she feels and who she wants, and she wants to open her options. And like Dreamer Visels said, she shouldn't have said anything about dating men of other races. That's the thing.
It's
We should be
gaslighting. It's
we should be
gaslighting.
allowed to say what we want. I see same race couples saying whoever they like, and they talk about how they like blonde hair, blue eyes, and they like
Yes.
this and everything
I
like that.
hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
When we talk about how we feel about another race of man, or we might like that white guy, or we might like that Asian guy, we might like that Puerto Rican guy, we might like that, that black guy. We get silenced. We get told, oh, don't be talking about other races.
Well,
You know,
thing is, I think is the difference is though, is that you like who you like, but I think there is, I don't, to be honest with you, I would not pay for to be in her shoes, but I don't understand where she comes from, so I can't, it's very difficult for me to really empathize with her. But what I'm saying is it's kind of like a gaslight technique from based upon my perspective, because here she is, she's been pro-black, and she leads with that. I'm pro-black, but then I'm going to get out. See, here's the thing. When I hear that, she has not netted the gains that she needs or feels she's entitled to for hoisting that pro-black banner.
She got that pro-black from her parents.
Yeah.
And her
Okay. So what
she's
doing is she's thinking she's probably going to likely when she probably initially did it. And this is not to be mean at her. I'm looking at the pathology. Probably when she started saying it, she was trying to gaslight a black man to run after her. Trust me when I tell you this. I'm 52 years old. And I remember having the conversations when I was in my early 20s. That was 30 something years, about 30 years ago, with black men who would say this, that, and the other about the chosen black men, and you all dating out or whatever. And I've heard all of that. But the reality is you should be choosing your partner not on the color of their skin. You should be choosing your partner not based upon trying to gaslight someone else, because trust me, they're beautiful black women, both of them. But the average black man that they are hoisting their banner for is not even checking for them.
Exactly.
That's the hard part.
Not at all.
Seem to see. And it's unfortunate because I know what they want. I remember listening to Sinji, and I knew exactly what she was doing when she was doing it, because I said, there's no way you can convince me that this young lady is this pro-black. I mean, because here's the thing. If you're that pro-black, why are your numbers of follows so low? And why is it only women in your comment section? If you're this pro-black, and she's a light-skinned black woman, and she's attractive and obviously intelligent, where are all the black men that she's caping for? Why aren't they in her comment section raising the banner to support her? They weren't there. But they come out of the woodworks if you even look like you're going to turn your heels or your attention away from them. This is what I mean. You can literally be slaughtered in the street and go and march for them, and they will not be there. If they are, they'll be behind you or in a car poking around, or at home watching it on TV. And then when something happens to you, the first thing they'll do is blame you for it. They're never going to take accountability.
They won't even watch it. They busy playing video games, so they're not even watching it.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's really sad. I hope that Barbie finds some peace through this. But I think if she could just look, first of all, she needs to get herself a CPL. She needs to protect herself. She needs to file whatever appropriate documents, whatever she needs to do legally to make sure that the perimeter of her space, especially if she got information and stuff on these
make
people,
sure she secure her home, her area,
her home, and secure her person, secure her family or whatever. Right. But the one thing that she needs to do is, because this is dangerous, and I realize people think that she should be able to say what she want to say, but let me tell you something. There are some people out here that will smoke her for saying what she feels. So I'm thinking about her life. Okay, this isn't about this is not about trying to do right and stand up, because here's the reality of it. People are not well. They're not mixed well right now. Okay, especially given the fact that they recognize is that it's because she's an attractive woman. I guarantee you.
After I heard what happened to that couple in New Hampshire, Concord, New Hampshire, I've been like really scared, like just really like physically, like just scared. Like I had a hard time sleeping because there's people out there that want to hurt interracial couples. They literally want to do bodily harm to interracial couples, and it's scary. And women who open their options and men who open their options, they really want to do bodily harm to people like that. Like it's getting so radicalized to where people want to do bodily harm, like literally. It's scary.
All right, Afro Puff Queen, what do you think? I'm sorry, young lady, we're kind of taking over.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
Oh no, it's
love to hear her perspective because she comes from the generation probably as the
20. You're in the same generation as the young lady up there. Probably both of them. They both look really young.
Mm-hmm. They're beautiful women. Beautiful women.
Oh, they are. Both of them are.
I can't get it. I'm losing it over here.
See, I think it's because a lot of people in our generation tend to be so obsessed with being woke that they spew rhetoric, just crazy rhetoric that doesn't really make sense. That's why I'm really not for like socialism and feminism and all that, because nothing has a meaning anymore. Nothing really makes sense. A lot of these kids just have TikTok degrees, no real education, just listening to things that they hear on this clock app when they need to be going to school. And also, I don't think research would hurt anyone. Like I said, TikTok degrees with no real research. So, yeah.
Well, people get huge followings just saying how they feel.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that will follow her for that. They'll be cheering her on. Yeah, tell them. Yeah, they're weirdos. They're lost. Yeah.
Yeah, because they like seeing. Sorry,
and that'll get you. That'll lure you into being polar. Being a polar person, because the truth is, this is why I say it's dangerous. It's dangerous for anyone, I think, to speak about something they really don't truly believe in just for clicks. Because the thing is that if you're going to stand 10 toes down for something, then you're probably willing to fall for it. But if you're just doing it for to get clicks and likes, that's a dangerous game to play. Because see, when you flip the switch and you're not, like with Barbie, I don't know anything about her, only what I've heard about today. But I don't even know if she really truly believes the stuff that she used to talk about before. Because it's not that when you start to move, as someone said, you need to move in silence. There is no reason why she should tell anybody. Why does she need to come to TikTok to get TikTok's validation about who she chooses today?
That's true.
Okay. Whatever I want social media to know, I'll tell you. And what you don't know, you won't know. You will have to pay someone to find out. Because at the end of the day, how I live my life and how I choose to live it, you don't pay my bills. Why do I feel like I need to? I don't care. I mean, I have a small channel, small platform, but I'm out here. I'm speaking my truth. I'm leaving some kind of legacy behind, but I certainly don't care what people think about it, especially who I date. And because obviously for me, I never really cared one way or another. I dated who stepped to me appropriately and who I liked. I never had an issue with whether or not, it's male energy that I'm attracted to. It has nothing to do with skin color.
A man is a man. Period.
You pull up the book. They run from shade to shade. Okay, so this whole idea of trying to popularize. Well, I'm going to date. I'm going to start dating. I'm going to start. That's fine. That's what you say maybe to your friends, your pals. But you don't go on social media and flip a switch like that and then think that nothing is not going to happen.
It's definitely unsafe to say that anyway.
Yes, it is.
With all the craziness, all these crazies going around, and people ain't getting the mental health help they need.
Especially for young Black women. Especially
exactly. It's just not safe anymore. I mean, yeah, you wanna express your love for all race of men, but it's just not safe no more because you got people out here on that the hate train, and it gets dangerous. It just gets scary. I get scared. It's even scared to even walk outside. Sometimes I worry about walking down the street, And if you're on a date or something and you get, you deal with some crazy person, like it's scary out here. These people they're just crazy. And
Yeah, that,
it's just it
sorry.
makes me it makes me so upset, the fact that you know people think they can dictate other people's lives. Like they
Yeah.
have a right to dictate somebody else's life and how somebody else should live and how somebody else should date, somebody else should date. And they're both beautiful young ladies, but
Yes.
I'm just saying the one with the afro really just like boiled my blood. It's like I'm so tired of the same thing. I've heard this all before, all
Mhm.
through YouTube, the
Mhm.
YouTube streets, all through
Yeah.
TikTok. It's like you get so tired of hearing it.
Yeah.
People complaining about seeing a black woman with a white man. Why is it a problem for you? Why do you care?
She has talking points. The stuff that I hear her saying, I've been hearing it from a very distinct population of people for probably the last 30 years, probably before she was
Oh
born.
yeah. The stuff she said, I heard way back in the
Yeah,
'80s.
it's like
It's
the
not changed.
supremacist
It's
talking
like,
Yeah.
points. It's like the
yep,
liberal talking points. It's like the GOP talking points. It's
exactly.
rehearsed. These people don't have an independent. They can't string an independent thought together.
Yeah.
And the
It's
Same old
reality,
rhetoric. It's
yeah,
same old rhetoric.
same
It's like
rhetoric,
a broken record,
like
and
a broken record.
it's like you just want to turn the record off and throw the goddamn record out the window, and it's like just shut up,
Yeah,
just
along
shut
with
up
the record player.
for real. It's like you just want to take it and throw it out the window. It's like I'm over it.
And then here's the saddest part about it is it's going to be a similar situation like Barbie is. Like I said, the moment they become enlightened, which isn't hard to become enlightened, all you gotta do is what did someone say? Read something other than the TikTok University manual, and then next thing you know, you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute, I've been led astray. And this is what ends up happening for some reason. I'm pretty sure they both seem like pretty intelligent people, but they are not. They're isolating themselves to the rhetoric that they want to hear. And Barbie is coming mainstream, but I just don't understand though why she felt like she needed to come to TikTok and speak to her crowd, who she knows is following her for very specific reasons. That's why I say
Yes.
it's a gaslight.
Yeah, because
Uh,
she
you-
said she was
She's
pro-black,
gaslighting those people.
right?
Yeah.
She said she was pro-black, so you know what pro-black means. It means
Okay.
anti-white, anti-other, other
Okay.
races. So
Thank
she
you.
should have been very careful what she was saying.
Yeah, once you
especially
go
if you're a
there,
pro-black woman doing that. That's
Okay.
gonna get you into some deep
Yes,
waters.
it is. You as they say, your butt will write a check. I mean, your mouth will write a check. Your butt can't cash.
Ain't
That's
that the
exactly where she's at
truth?
about
Ain't
right
that the
now.
truth?
yeah.
Right.
And it's sad because she has.
Yeah.
You don't even know what the kind of people you're dealing with out here. These people they're literally 2 clicks away from going postal.
Yep.
You can't do this
Yep.
kind of stuff. It's not fun, and they do it oftentimes for the very sense of generating drama, to
Yeah.
get those follows up or whatever. This is a dangerous game to play. There
Yeah.
was a young man who taped himself on YouTube. I mean, this is what I think Facebook, from Michigan. He has a habit of, charging at people and getting people stirred up. And people followed him. He put his address and stuff, and people followed him to his house. And it was a OK Corral event, and he ended up at the morgue.
Oh.
Ooh,
You got to
Wow.
be careful. This stuff is
Yeah.
real,
yeah.
and you can't do it. This is why. Look, I don't have a problem with people walking in their truth. I applaud it, but you better understand what that truth is going to cause you to have to sacrifice. Because
Yeah.
some things are better left to you and God, or you and your family, and not bring to social media. Okay. Extremist talk is it's dangerous.
Especially if you're a part of an extremist group of people. You
Yeah,
should
'cause you
never
turn-
have said that. She should have said that in private with her friends
Thank you.
and everything like that, because out in the open, that's why she's getting all these
That's why
threats
she's
now.
getting it.
She's
She don't
getting
even
what-
realize it. She's getting it for the very
Yeah.
reasons why she and it's unfortunate because all you can do is hope that maybe she should take a break from social media, change up her platform, do something. Because see, here's the thing though, they want the follows. So everything is fine until the threats come. This is
Yeah.
dangerous. This is why I do not support extremist channels. I pass by them all the time, and I will go right on through.
We seen what
All
happened
right.
to Cynthia G. She was
Yes.
pro-black, and then when she switched up and she said she dropped her cape, she got all kinds. They was trying to find out where she lived.
She got doxxed.
You know,
She got
yeah,
doxxed.
it was
Yeah.
crazy. That's why I said
Hey.
when you're part of like extreme groups like that, you gotta move in silence.
You do have to
Go-
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's.
Go ahead.
I
Brent,
think Afro Puff Queen wanted to say something.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to just reflect on all that, it's scary out here. Like, cause I go to a PWI and it's like there's like 1,000% chance I could end up with a white guy, and it's scary to know that something bad could happen just because I'm holding his hand down the street.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah,
Brent, pro white male leadership asked for the link to be dropped again.
yeah. She
Oh,
said, drop the
okay.
link.
All right, I'm dropping it. I'm dropping the link, young lady. Hey,
Yeah, it's pretty bad out there.
Yeah,
You gotta be
you gotta
careful.
be careful. You really do. And the young ones, I really, because they're very they don't get it. I mean, it's and I understand when you're at a certain age, you feel like you're untouchable. But this is dangerous. Extremism is dangerous. Extremism is very, very dangerous. I mean, they just sentenced a police officer yesterday for 10 years for climbing that wall of the Capitol. They're handling this stuff very, very differently than people expected. It's a mess. You have to be careful. You don't let yourself, it will disrupt your life. If you live to talk about it, your life will be disrupted. You're going to be on no-fly list. You can't, the last thing as a pro-black or anything you want to be is to be where you can't even move in the mainstream, like travel. I mean, you don't want to get on those lists. You do not want to get on those lists where someone has to, where everywhere you go, you're being followed. Oh, you can't get in
because
here.
they labeling most of them groups domestic terrorists.
Terrorists.
Pretty much.
You want to be a 20-year-old domestic terrorist, and your whole life is now, you got to study, like you said, study from TikTok University, because nobody will accept you, and they'll find a reason to disqualify you, kick you out, and next thing you know, you can't get a job.
How do I get enrolled in TikTok University? Will they accept my application?
You're a student now, Brett. You like it over there.
I'm new over there. I don't even know how
Me
to.
too. I'm coming. I think I'm in about 2 or 3 days. I'll probably be a year.
Just make a video and spit some facts, some controversial facts, and then there you go.
Yeah.
People will listen to you.
I'm pro white male leadership.
Hey, pro white leadership.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Just saying hello.
Hello.
I like your name.
I listen. I don't know what it was, but it summoned me.
Is it?
The name summoned me.
Oh my gosh, I just love it.
A lot of people love it too. You ought to see.
Well, some people love it and some people are intimidated by it. So
yeah, I love the name.
Yeah, it's a cool kind of leadership,
and they say, "Oh, they really got you." I said, "You better believe it. They got me. Yeah, they did get me." You're absolutely right. They did.
Yeah.
I don't really think you care what people think anyway, bro.
Oh, I don't give a F about nothing. The older I get, the more or less I care.
Yeah, and about the Brent, about that other video, the one with the dude with the dreads. Yeah. Oh my God, I done already seen his video on Cynthia G's channel. Oh Lord, that man is messed up. He's using eugenics. He was using eugenics to try to defend the whole thing about interracial, to try to debunk interracial relationship. He used eugenics, saying that if a dog can't sleep, dogs shouldn't sleep with cats type of theory.
That's not the same thing. And they know it.
We're human though.
Yeah, he was doing him. Yeah, he was doing that crap.
Oh yeah, that young man with the dreads. Yeah, where it's unnatural. Yeah,
he's sick.
Those are
he
I call them the hoteps. These are the people. I'm telling you, they are the worst. These people come pretty much through the school. There's another young lady. I can't think of her name right now, but there's like a triad of them, and Dr. Umar Johnson is one of them. He's part of that
yeah.
ideology.
Yeah.
These people are just. It's just amazing to me. I just sit and watch them. It's like another 4 years pass by, and they're still talking. It's like they're drying. They're like a grape drying up
And
on
they're
a vine.
using
for a
white
reason.
supremacist talking points. That's what
all
I'm
they're
trying to
doing.
say. They're using the same shit that they, excuse my language, they're using the same thing that David Duke says. It's like,
Yes. That's
y'all,
why I said they're
like,
brothers.
they pretty much in the same cut from the same freaking cloth of hatred. It's like,
Listen,
oh my god.
listen, I made it very clear. All this stuff that happened, slavery, Jim Crow, you really think that this was just white men doing this? Really?
No.
Come on.
No.
Black men
Everyone
played a
ought
role
to
in that.
know.
This is
They
what
sure did.
they've always helped.
People don't want to hear that though, right?
They were right along with them doing the exact same shit. Excuse my
Cut
language.
from they two
They've
birds
been
of a
with
feather.
them right along with them doing it. Trust
Two
me,
birds
this is
of a
not
feather.
just.
That's pretty much.
And they're both wrong, but the fact that these men sit here and act like they have nothing to do with it is like, please.
Weren't these males the ones that sold us out in the first place?
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and that's what I have a problem when it comes to the slavery conversation. Okay, they were wrong, but what about their role too? It's everything is like one-sided.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They're never. It seems it's very normalized for. It's so normal for black men to be failures because that's just the way they are. It's okay for them to sell us out. It's okay for them not to protect us. It's okay for them not to be there for us. It's okay for them to do all this shit, but there's no consequence for them.
And you know what's so interesting? I was watching a documentary about a black queen over in Africa who was defending the country and trying to defend the country against invaders. And her brother did everything to dethrone her so that he can let invaders in. So that just shows
That's
you
what
that
they
black
always do.
Yeah.
Their behavior has never changed.
And see, that's why I love your name, pro-white male leadership.
Their behavior has never changed. The same shit that they're doing now is the same shit they were doing 400, 500 years ago. It's just a different time, a different era, and that's it. That's
You know,
it.
my
They're
mother
doing,
used
they're
to
doing the
say
same
nothing
shit.
changes but the date. You can
The
see
fact,
exactly how things
let me tell you
are
something.
and how
Let me
they
tell you
were.
something. The fact that you have a black man that can go on a public platform and talk about how they want things to be like the 1950s, something is very wrong with these men.
Because weren't they just as segregated too?
Exactly.
And that's why then I say to you, they helped create Jim Crow and segregation and all that other stuff. I've been saying that, and now you're watching it unfold in front of your eyes.
I mean, we already heard Umar say that he agrees with David Duke. He literally agrees with David Duke.
They were helping them all along. They were helping them.
They've been helping the white supremacists.
They've been helping them.
Yes, indeed.
It's the blueprint's the same.
Yep.
Yeah, you might as well
White supremacist talking point. They don't have any independent thought. I say this constantly. You know, I don't even. You know what? I don't have a horse in this race. To be honest with you, like I said, look, you should have caught me before I retired. I'm 52 and I'm retired now. So now I'm just making content to help Generation Z elevate their consciousness as far as being more global minded instead of being polarity focused. But I can't even begin to even summon a thought or care or concern, because no matter what you do, it seems that their ideals are still stuck. It's a follow, and they're so misguided. It's like, I don't get it. The lack of intelligence. you can find one that has attained the highest degrees and coach and socialize, and I promise you, you put me or one of these other ladies in the room with them, and they'll feel inferior because in spite of the education they may have, there's a lack of intelligence and rational thought in that space. And it's terrible how no matter what you do, no matter what you say, their ideals are always the same. It's a follow playbook. And you would think after all these years, somebody would have woken up. I mean, really woken up. I'm not
And you
talking
know
about
the
woke up.
interesting thing creating the interesting
Mhm.
thing is that black women, even throughout history, has been more educated than black men, and that's the
Yes.
sad thing about it. Black women
Yeah.
have always been more educated than black
And the
men.
birth is widening. The birth
Yeah.
is widening because see, of course you got this rhetoric and these psychologists out there are saying that men are more evolved than women. And so black men just kind of pipe themselves into that population with white men and Asian men. No, you're not. You're the least evolved. The evidence is there, you're the least evolved, because what you're trying to do is you think that your only cure for your problems is to set women back to the 50s. What women do you think are going to go back to the 50s? Go right back to when because you know why? They are bought into this idea that it is because of welfare that they were put out of the house. No, you left the house and welfare came in to close the gap. Let's
and
just
and
call it
and
what it
that's
is.
and that is what like I said, it seems to be okay for these men to do whatever they want. Nobody can't say nothing to them. And yes, that unfortunately that is kind of our fault as black women that this
Yeah,
has
it
happened,
really is our
unfortunately,
fault.
because we've been it's to me it's at a
We've
point
been
where
coddling them.
there's no results
Right.
in nothing these men do. Even
These males-
listen, they enslaved us and we're not even benefiting off of their infrastructure. White men enslaved us and we're benefiting off of their infrastructure. So even if they're doing the exact same thing as these men, they don't end up in the same place.
I feel
So
like sorry.
And the strange thing is when a white man checked them, they quick to say racism. They quick to go dox that dude and find out where he worked at
because
and try to take his job.
they want to do what they want to do and they don't want to be corrected. That's the problem. And we kind of believed black men when they were coming to us and telling us what white men are doing to them and all that other shit. Oh, everything is racism, 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 racism. And I'm not saying there's no racism, but well, you know what? These guys' behaviors have proven that you should be racially profiling them because they keep proving that they should be racially profiled. They'll sit there and tell you to your face you should racially profile them.
And why? Why do black men feel it's to be so proud to walk around dressed like a thug? I'm not getting that. And they celebrate, oh, well, I'm dressed like a thug, It's almost like...
And the fact that they keep saying that's something that we want when we're trying to get them, that seems to be the thing with black women. It seems like we've worked hard to try to get black men to be like white men instead of just being with white men. What is the point of that? We want that's what black male worshipers want. They just want them to be like them, and they're not like them. They're not the same. They're not the same type of men. They're just not. They're not built the same. They're very completely two different types of men.
What were you saying, Brent?
Oh no. Hey, I might have to step out a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Just for a second. And
Okay.
you ladies go ahead and continue the discussion. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, Afro Puff, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, I do feel like these males just want us to be destitute, and that's why they want us to go back to the 50s. They want us to need them and depend
Yes.
on them,
Right.
and they want us to be all the woman and half the man too.
Right.
And that's what gets me.
They feel threatened because based upon the social hierarchy, they should naturally fall third, but they're well past. They're like, I wouldn't even consider it to really, as a collective, they would be on the ground. They're like beneath the sewage. Because I'm saying this because there's no real effort on them to raise and elevate their consciousness, other than doing exactly what you said, which is to knock Black women off their pedestal. They want to do it through abuse, through the very thing that pushed us out of it. They think that that's the way to do it. They're stuck. This is the reason why there's such a high level of frustration, because what I see is that there's two mantras that's been out there. There's the public manifesto, and then there's the private manifesto. And what they followed is the public manifesto, but they really don't pay attention really truly how white men move in this world. Okay, because the one thing that I know white men do is that there is usually, generally, maybe she may not speak a lot, there's generally a woman, secretary, wife, someone with some skills who is helping them manage and lead from a quiet space. But Black men didn't pick that note. They didn't pick up on that. They listened to the subjugate them, the public subjugated speech, the stuff that you hear in political rallies and all that other stuff about where to put women back into whatever. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't even matter, because at the end of the day, they will always, you can't even imagine how they don't see it. The low level of intelligence that they don't realize that there's two manifestos operating. A public one and a private one. And Black women figured it out. I remember when I was going through certification, I was working for an engineering company during the summer. I went in for the interview. I happened to be selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. If anybody's familiar with Kirby vacuum cleaners, they got the lifetime warranty and everything. But anyway.
Oh yeah, those are good vacuums.
Very good vacuum cleaners. So I was selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, and it was hot that summer, and I was like, I had my suit on because they require that you wear a suit, even though you're cleaning carpets, but you wear a suit. So I had my suit. I had the Kirby vacuum cleaner in my trunk. My friend said, you know what, they're hiring for the auto industry for temp workers. I was like, okay, temp will be fine. I can just work the summer, then I'll be finishing my certification in the fall. That's perfect, great. And she said where it was going to be held at. And I was like, oh, okay. It was an engineering business. They did third tier supply. So first tier would be GM, second tier would be like Johnson Controls, and then the third tier would be somebody who supplies workers to Johnson Controls. Okay, so this was a tier 3 supplier. I go in to fill out an application. And this is a Black-owned company. I sit down, wait for the interview. I'm like, okay, my lunch hour is almost up. I'm like, I gotta go. And you hate to fill out an application and run, but he's like, well, can you hold on 1 second? We got a meeting, and then if you can just hold on, because I come in here applying to work as a, an inspector. That's what work on the line. Just a job, a good paying job. Didn't care about the benefits. It was just something to tie me through the summer, right? I ended up getting interviewed. The first position that he said, well, no, he looked at me, I guess, wearing the suit, saw my demeanor, and said, I don't think that you'll be good for the factory floor. I think you would probably be more appropriate. We need someone to collect the timesheets because they got a problem with the time, blah, 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 blah. Before it was all over, they kept going on. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get going. Good thing that Kirby don't have me on the clock, right? Next thing you know, I am working in the office, booking the engineers' travel. I mean, they created a job for me, and I told them straight up I wasn't planning on working past the summer. I didn't even know if I was going to get a job. But I'm saying this all to say is that there are so many opportunities for people to improve themselves and to do better. But when you sit in an office, say you sit in an office and you've got the human resource department is this desk, the engineer / business manager / CEO is sitting at the front. Behind me is the office manager. I got 2 engineers in my corner, and there's you got all these people right on the floor. You can hear the conversations. You can hear people talking. And let me tell you something. There are not enough people in the room when these kind of conversations are being had. And you know what I learned? Many of the engineering startups that were being operated by Black women were being funded by white men. That was close to 30 years ago. So when you see companies like Goldman Sachs, that doesn't surprise me. I can't even be surprised by that because I knew that was going on 30 years ago. They were doing that 30 years ago and have been doing it. So white men have known for probably since the Atlantic trade what Black women contributed. What they did was, from based on what I see, is they looked at the opportunities, and through time, this is why Black women are starting to benefit more. And you can't stop it. You know why? Because the person who is helping and assisting them is the person who controls the wealth. And Black men are losing. Not and it's not like no one's not helping them. The thing of it is that when they're invited into spaces, they're not focused on the work. They're focused on how much time they can get to freeload and to chill and hang out with their boys. And, you know, it's all about the dress, to look like you're doing something instead of actually doing something while the Black women are doing the work. And so they can't blame anybody but themselves for why they're perceived the way they are on the street, especially when they celebrate being a thug, when they weren't even raised in poverty.
Yeah, you know what? You make a good point with Black women. Black women are benefiting, but our country's benefited from Black women.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising Goldman Sachs would put that much money into Black women, because with Black women, you're going to get a return.
Yep.
That's the character they have. Look at, I mean, NASA hired Black women to get the space program going. And, you know, if you study that, you know, you've seen the movie and stuff, but if you really study it, these women were geniuses. And they were, that one woman that, gosh, what was her name?
Katherine Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was so brilliant. She was running rings around geniuses. And the people working at NASA were top of the line, highly educated. You know, a number of them were actually geniuses. They could do numbers, but nobody could figure out numbers like she could. It was just, her mind was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Black women have contributed a lot. And I just think they don't get the credit they deserve. And they surely didn't during that time. But even today, and, you know, it's a shame. You would think Black men would be lifting them up because they're part of the community, right? If you're pro-Black, wouldn't you lift up Black women? But it seems like it's more of the men are lifted up. I don't know. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm seeing it wrong.
They want us to feel inferior, but in reality, they are inferior.
Right.
And that's why they want us to feel inadequate. They want us to be lower. They want us to lower our standards and accept their dust so that we can share in the dust with them.
And what's the shirt say? What are the shirts that are out there? What does the shirt say? They want the Black woman that the white man gets.
They should, because we've been blessed.
The thing is that they are not socialized to marry the Black woman that the white man gets. It's not like we changed anything. We're still the same Black women. The only thing is that we're going where we're accepted, where we're celebrated. That's all it is.
Yeah.
We haven't changed. I've never seen a Black woman change. I mean, if she's however she talks or speaks or enunciates her words, whether she wears, you know, jeans and a fro or she wears a business suit, she's accepted. You know, I keep telling women, Black women who are trying to, you know, cherry pick and find out who white men like of the Black community. They like women. Okay. Stop.
Yeah.
You're stressing yourself too much. Trust me when I tell you they like women. Okay.
And somebody said, I heard somebody say that, well, the colorism, white men are colorist too. And well, the racist ones, but most of us don't think of color when we date black women. I never even thought of that. I never. It's weird. We look at black women as black women. We don't really look at the skin tone. I'm sure there's some that do, but for the majority of us, we don't. Somebody, made fun of me because my wife was dark complected, and I was. It was bizarre because I didn't understand it. I mean, and I was just floored. And this come from a black man, you know, and he says, "Oh no, man, I'm just joking with you." But yeah,
was
about
not.
that.
No, he wasn't. He was
Yeah,
serious.
he wasn't. Yeah, sorry. No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
Well,
but it just blew my mind that
Yeah, there's a
that would
lot.
I'm
even
sorry
be.
to laugh.
No, it's
No,
okay. It's the truth. Because look, we're well aware of the self-hatred that they have,
yeah.
And the thing of it is that baffles them. See here, okay, so here's what I gather based upon something that was told to me about 25 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, maybe. That, and this is a black man said this to me, a married black man who passed over.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off creating one. Hey, someone asked, is the panel still open? Yes.
Oh yeah, he dropped the link.
Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead, creating one.
Michael
Okay.
was wondering about my photo. That's my daughter's in there.
Oh,
Okay.
in that photo, whose photo is?
That's my
okay.
girls, my babies.
I'm trying to see it. I got my
My
laptop
two little
up.
girls.
Okay.
Well, one
Let
of
me
them is an
increase
adult.
it. Let me see if I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it now. Okay, so these are both your daughters. The one with the little
Yes.
fro and the okay.
Yeah, that's my daughters.
Oh,
They're both
beautiful.
biracial. That's my
Yeah,
Beautiful.
beautiful. Yes.
That's both. The one's in college and the other that was on my youngest daughter's birthday.
Okay.
Took her out on, and that's before my oldest daughter went to college. So we celebrated my daughter's birthday before the youngest one, before she went back to school. So Michael was wondering who's the pretty picture of. Yes, they're my babies.
You know what? I was feeling a little sidestep because I saw that conversation you were having with Michael, and I thought you sent it to Michael privately. And
No, he was looking at the photo.
Oh, okay, he's looking at
No, he saw the photo and he said, "That's a pretty photo up there." I said, "No, that's my kids." Yeah.
I got to put this up there. Sandy has gorgeous skin. Yes.
She's beautiful.
Sandy
is.
does.
Sandy
is flawless skin. I want to know what her skin routine is because she ain't got no acne, no nothing. It's flawless.
Kissed by the gods, honey. That looks like all
melanin popping for real.
Yeah, she takes good care of it. It looks. I mean, I dread getting old because they'll be thinking I'm robbing the cradle.
She's gonna preserve you. She's gonna preserve you.
That's one thing I can say about black women. We got that melanin and keeps us looking young. We don't even look our age. Like my mom she's sick, almost 60, and she don't even look 60. And it's crazy. They like, is that your sister? I'm like, no, that's my mother.
Yeah.
I have a sister who's 65, and people don't think we're 12 years apart, 13 years apart.
You ladies age well. I'll give you that. Us white guys, like Michael said, women age like wine. We age like milk. We look good for a couple days, and that's it. It's done.
It's hilarious. You know what? When you got a good heart, I think you age well. But when you are a narcissist or there's something wrong with you, I think you just gonna look ugly no matter who you are. To be honest,
when you got that bitter personality, you just a bitter person. It really
you can't hide it. You can't hide the natural evolution. But what I was saying is that it seems to me that they kind of got. I'm laughing, but I want you guys to listen to what I'm about to say, okay? I think a lot of black men got real cocky and real confident when white men probably told them, because based upon what I was told, they said, white men don't even like y'all like that. They just want to have sex with you. So I laughed when I heard it some 30 years ago. And when I look at today, the only thing I can think of is, like I said, there must have been two playbooks. They led you all to think that they weren't that interested in black women. But the reality is that throughout time, they've always been interested in black women. So you got to be some special kind of stupid to think that was Once you turned your, because what they did was they wanted. It seems to me that they got black men to turn their attention away from black men to black women and focus on the low hanging fruit of the Beckys, so that then they could have the lion's share. Because you can't. First of all, let me just say this: intelligent people study what's going on. I mean, there are think tanks. There are people who are not in think tanks. They pay attention, watch how people move. And when you can't be powerful and in business and make money without watching how people spend and how they make moves. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Okay. So what we see and what we're experiencing now, this avalanche, this was not by happenstance. Okay. You can believe it if you want to believe it, people, but it's not. This was a systematic, fundamental coup. And you know what? I'm here for it. Because if you're dumb enough to turn away from your greatest resource, you deserve to lose it.
Hey, you know what? Well, you just, man, you're dropping bombs here. You know what? You are so right. And I believe, yeah, black women are the most valuable resource in the black community. And to take that for granted,
we're the only ones that have been keeping the black community up, holding it up.
Okay. And you don't think anybody's been watching that?
Not me. Not me. We're
not talking about you.
I'm an investor, and I only invest in companies that are run by white men. And I've been doing that for years. I'm telling you the truth.
No, we hear you. What we're saying is that they're not looking when people study demographics, they don't look at one person. You know that you're intelligent enough to know that they look at how people move and how they spend money.
Of course.
So this is not happening by accident. Okay, there are some things that happen through natural evolution, through natural selection, but this is not happening by accident. What we're seeing right now. Okay. And that's the very thing that I said it has to be at some point. And I thought about that. I'm like, oh, wow. And they're upset. You know why they're pissed off and they're upset and they're gritting their teeth and punching the air? Because they woke up and realized this is why you had that young man who's a couple of weeks back was trying to lead the charge and tell us that, white men don't listen to all of this stuff. And Brent, you remember Brent, he was trying to tell you that you were not, I can't think of his name. Jesus. Was it Jesus or Jesus or something? I think it was.
Oh.
He was trying to, yeah. And I know exactly what he's talking about, but the reality is that we're 2 generations out, okay? And I get what he's saying, but it doesn't make any sense at this point because really it's sad that he wasn't there. And I feel like he's trying to hear their plight. He's listening, but what they didn't get misled. They misled themselves because you know why? They always thirsted and desired after any white woman as long as she was white. Okay. You can't blame anybody for your choices. Now there are some of them who are married very well. Okay. But for the most part, all you had to do was just be white, be a white woman. And that qualified you for a lot of black men.
Well, some of the videos, I'm believing that, but
they want to be controlled. They want to be controlled. They want to be conquered and dominated.
Yep. Hi, PPP. Hi, Rathi.
Is that you, Osset?
Osset Goddess. Hey, welcome to the panel.
Hi.
Hello,
Good
girls.
to see you.
Hi, Roadrunner.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I wanted to come up and say that I truly appreciate that these conversations are happening. I am 26. I was engaged. In my engagement, I was engaged to a black guy. But long story short, I realized that he was the same as the majority of them. So I did in the engagement, and now I decided to just stick with dating out of my race because I do feel like I have a better chance.
Uh-oh, you cut off.
She probably dropped.
You breaking up, Osset Goddess.
Hey, Osset Goddess, we lost your audio.
I get what she's saying, though. Yes.
Oh, here she goes.
I'm sorry, you can't hear me?
Yeah, it dropped off for a minute. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay. yeah, I was gonna say that I love that creating, like, I love everything that she's saying. You are also from the same state as me, so I was just like, oh, cool, she's from the same state. And also,
Are you
I
talking
love,
about the state that I'm from originally, or the state that I
oh,
reside in now?
yeah, yeah, the state that you're originally from, which I think
Oh,
is
Michigan.
Michigan.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, Michigan. So
Mhm.
I
June is
just
from
wanted
Michigan
to,
too.
oh,
SJ Talks and Life is from
cool.
Michigan.
Okay, well, I just wanted to come up and show some love and
Well, hey,
support.
I'm always
And,
going to be Michigan, born and
the
raised.
youth is listening. We are listening. We hear you. We see you. We are seeing what's going on. And again, we just appreciate it. And I make sure every chance I get to express the truth to Black women or Black girls, I take that chance and I tell them the honest truth about what's going on within the Black community,
Mhm.
and that it is unfortunately also dangerous to date Black men, considering Black women are getting killed. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have probably said that. Are getting hurt every 5 hours now. So yeah, so I just wanted to say that. And again, thank you guys so much for having this conversation. I'm gonna drop down and listen in the chat.
Well, it was
Okay.
very nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
It was
Th-
really
Thank
nice to
th-
meet you all, said. Got it.
Hey,
Yes,
thanks for coming up. Is good to hear from you, and you're
yes, it
welcome here
is.
anytime.
It's so amazing to hear from young people
Yes, it
and that
is.
Yeah.
they're
Oh my
listening, and
goodness. This is
that
the
that makes the puts a
demographic that
smile on my
I always
face.
want to hear from you all. Always
Yep,
do,
the
because
young people.
you are the cornerstone of my ministry.
You're the
Honestly.
future.
Oh,
You're the future right there.
thank you. And I'm
Yeah.
definitely, again, I am making sure I spread the word. I'm telling more women. Even I have actually a best friend. She is dark skinned. She's so beautiful. She is married to a white man who takes great care of her with their beautiful biracial children.
Mhm.
And even her, as a Black woman that is dating or actually married outside of her race, she didn't really know that this issue was so prominent as a collective issue. And after, me showing her and talking to her and trying to help her understand like the serious situation, she began to also express it to Black women and girls that she knows. So again, we are just trying to spread the word, wake up as many Black women and children as possible, so they
Mhm.
don't have to make the same mistakes
That's
that
right.
our older generation did. And I
Yeah.
see it, and it's sad. Sometimes I've cried about it.
Mhm.
But again, the best thing I can do is wake up the women who are wanting the help.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was awesome,
Yes,
and
indeed.
yeah,
Thank you guys.
thanks for coming up, young lady.
Thank
Yeah, thank
you.
you for
Asa
coming
Yes.
up.
goddess, and
Yes,
God
indeed.
bless you. And I pray you meet that man that just totally just loves you and adores you and just
She will. She most
I
definitely will,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm
I
sure I
I
will.
think so.
she leads with love, and evolved men want women who are positive and
Oh
who
yeah.
lead
Mhm.
with love and have left all. You don't even have any bitterness in you, and see,
No.
Yeah.
that's the best part. That's what I'm hoping to do, is to catch them before the bitterness gets into them.
That's
Because
right.
when you're running around with an ideal like these two young ladies, and then you flip that switch,
Mhm.
because see, you're going to come with the baggage of that with you, because all of the anger and the resentment that you get from losing is going to come, that energy is going to come with you. You won't
Amen.
have time to depose it.
I agree. And I guess I'll say the fortunate part is I didn't have to grow up within, like, I guess, a Black community space, like, a majority Black community.
Mm-hmm.
I actually grew up in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
I dated, I guess, outside my race my whole life, and I didn't even know that I was doing that. I just kind of did
Mm-hmm.
my own thing.
Right.
But
Mhm.
as I got older, I started to realize, like, oh, people don't like that. Like, oh, guys are like upset that you date white guys. That's weird. But
Yeah.
I still carry on and do me. Okay, so
Yeah. Well, no, I don't
period.
think many Black men were paying a lot of attention to it until they started seeing the wins, because see, like I said, in their mindset, they had this belief that that white men just wanted to sleep with us. Now, does that mean that all white men want to marry us? Of course not. What I'm saying is that they listen to the commentary from a pod of people, and then they took their eyes off of what was going on in the boardrooms, the courts, academia.
I think that Black men actually knew how much other races of men desired us, and they tried to keep us in this bubble to where they feel like they can tell us that we're not desired. Let's make this group of women feel like they are not desired so that they won't go and look for anything else.
I mean, if you remember back in the Atlantic slave trade, they made women wrap their black slave women wrap their hair up and close their hair up and wear really like close up their clothes and everything and their hair and everything because they were attracting the men. They were attracting white men.
But you're absolutely right, because it started off that way. They always knew that white men liked us. That was how they were able to access the goods that they needed when they traded us. Okay.
Yep. Definitely.
So yeah, you can't trade. You can't trade an orange for a gun unless somebody wants the orange, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think about it that way, I mean, I'm not trying to call us fruit, but I'm just saying, in order for somebody to trade something, you have to have an agreement. Somebody has to want what it is that you have to offer. Nobody isn't just going to accept it. And again, like I've said, this has been throughout time. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The thing is that they know what they've tried to do was, in these small little pockets of space, take this little information that they would hear and try to bring it to us as if that was going to stop us from dating white men. The reality is that you can do and say whatever it is you want, but at the end of the day, Black women as a collective are too spiritually gifted, too intellectually gifted, and then you add academics on top of that. That is a trifecta that you cannot stand unless you come with some receipts. And very often when they come to debate these topics, as we've already said, they're coming with nationalist talking points. And that stuff has no spine. It is a leaf that will blow very easily. You can kick it right from underneath itself because it has no standing. It's what you pump into people and what you train and drill into them. This kind of stuff is taught. You don't come into the world racist. It just doesn't work that way. You teach it by isolating people and constantly projecting in front of them negative images and constantly showing them how somebody like yourself is down because somebody else has an opportunity, or constantly being given opportunity, to the point that you convince your own self that you are being, disenfranchised to allow someone else a room through the door. And when all this is the only thing civil rights ever did was to take away the obstacles. That's all it was supposed to do, was to take away the obstacle. It was never to give anybody some opportunity above someone. But look how long it takes for people to be convinced and conditioned. Because everybody knows at some point they had to change and flip the whole way the system was operating. Okay, because they were recognizing like women like Katherine Johnson. I mean, can you imagine if Katherine Johnson wasn't at NASA? Our astronaut probably would have still been out there as dust. He wouldn't have got home.
He'd be floating around to this day.
Okay, because he was trying to get home.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Dreams of Versailles.
Hey, can I touch on what Dream said?
Sure.
She said Black men call us masculine if we're educated. I totally agree with her. I think one issue I've had is that Black men say I'm too sensitive or I'm too soft, which is weird. But yeah, that's something I've noticed just for me personally.
I don't listen to nothing these niggas gotta say.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't say that word.
I'm sorry, Fred.
No. You know what? I'm gonna stop laughing at you because I'm gonna be encouraging your bad behavior. That's what I'm
telling you. Listen. I tell them to their face. You know, I don't give a damn what y'all think, right? I be telling them that to their face.
No chaser, No chaser.
You're right though,
Get into 'em with no
Goddess,
chaser.
because when I was your age, it was you're too naive. The thing is as I've said, is that they weren't socialized
Mhm.
to handle and to see the benefit of having an educated woman. And they don't understand how to build something. I mean, I used to have these conversations at 18, 19 years old, like, conversation, because I come from a family where they're older siblings. So of course, older siblings and older parents. So I had a little bit more, wisdom than most of the people my age based on that. And I would try to tell them like how you do things, like my parents, you have one that maybe works in a certain industry, and then one has works the job as benefits. That's how you build, you can create, a system. You don't have, in case somebody wants to go to school, like give you an example, my little cousin who got married last year to a nice young white guy, he got injured on his job as a medic, and he's in school to get his nursing degree, and she's kind of coasting the family as he's on his disability. He's going to school on his disability because he's got full disability from the Marines. I think he's a Marine, former Marine. So he's getting incomes, multiple sources and streams of income while going to school. He's able to go to her son's football games and support him because she's working those crazy hours. It's just amazing how people automatically know how to create a team situation. But then when you have, say, an incel Black man coming in, if they see a woman who's got it together, she's educated, whatever, they're liable to put their feet up and say, you know what, you got this. I can rest. I don't have to do anything. There's no collective of building anything. If they can't control it, they're going to exploit it. There is no building concept coming from majority of them. It's like, and you see it all the time. Or they'll try to make an excuse, well, and put it on the woman. Well, you didn't, you like, as if, I remember hearing Black men say, and I'm sorry if this offends anybody, that a Black woman with education does not need a man. And they train white women to say the same thing. I used to see white women in comment section saying, well, you all don't need a man. You don't want a man. Like, who in the world said we didn't want a man? Who said that? You all can go get educated. You may not use it. You might decide to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever you choose to be. But why is it that Black women who get educated, that's an indication, like,
someone said spinsters or something like that.
Yeah, like we don't want a man. We don't want to get married. We don't want to have children. We just want to be power brokers and be masculine and all that other stuff. Who came up with that? We didn't wake up one day and say we're going to assert this role. This is evolution. You do what you have to do to survive.
Yeah.
You can't count on someone to be there, so you're trained to do what you can. When my father passed away, my mother knew how to do a lot of things. My father, like I mentioned to you just Brent before, my dad was terrible with money. So he didn't tell his friends that he let my mother control the money, but she controlled the money. Because I'm going to tell you something. When he passed away, my mother knew how to write checks. She knew how to do everything. She worked. She knew how to do it. So she carried for a long time. So when you see someone doing that, what is the natural thing I'm supposed to think as coming on the end? That, well, not that I don't need a man, but if there's not one there, I don't have to fall down and cry about it because I saw a woman do it. My mother didn't put me in a desk and say, okay, this is how you live your life without a man. No, that's not the instruction she gave me. What she did is she taught me by showing me that if a man departs from your life, and unfortunately in my situation, my father passed away, but if there wasn't one there, you don't have to collapse, because in reality is, if you don't have one, what are you supposed to do? Just dry up? You want to be able to take care of yourself. You want to go to school. You want to be educated. You want to take up a trade, open a business, whatever you want to do. No one ever counted men out of our lives except them. When they looked around and said, okay, well, you got the education. Y'all got all the jobs. So you don't really need a man other than to have sex with you. So this is how they birthed this ideology that of perpetuating single Black women. And women did this. Mothers, they did this to themselves. That's why when you guys say, yeah, we own some responsibility, yes, because we listened to that by and large. And we followed that playbook. And that's why I extravated all the people from my life who think that way. That Black women don't want men. No, I don't want to have a conversation. I don't even want women having that conversation around me, because that is not it at all.
Yeah.
We have selected and chosen to not fall through cracks, but there is no precepts in our DNA that we do not want or desire to be married or to have a family.
Yeah, I mean, most of us want to have a family and make sure we have stability to have a family. We don't want to be single moms and living off of the system.
That's right.
Off of the government. I mean, come on, you know. And that's what I said. A lot of these older generation, they on that breeding cow, that breeding bull crap. No, we don't want to be. I don't want the generation of my daughters to end up being single moms. No.
Right.
I want them to be in a marriage, a happy marriage with a stable household, so they can raise their kids. Yep. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's just crazy. It's just crazy that they say, "Oh, you need a man." No, you should say you need a husband. That's what should be the first thing they should be saying. You need a husband, not a man.
Yep.
And see, if being married successfully means that we have to date out, then so be it too.
That's right. To be honest with you, I know for some it's a choice, but for a lot of us, we weren't socialized to be race loyal. So it's not an adventure that we're on when we're literally looking for the best man for the job. And if whoever that happens to be, we can't blame ourselves if that happens to be a large portion of that is outside of our race. Okay. We didn't create that. We're just adapting to what is. I mean, because no one wants to be sitting around. I mean, some people may not mind sitting around complaining at 50 or 60 that they didn't get a man because they were race loyal. But I'm glad to see that by and large, Generation Z is not signing up for that crap, because it would be a waste, a total waste of your life to be coming into the world with the reality the way it is, holding out for a percentage that's never going to lean into your favor. It just won't. It is too many Black women walking this planet to think that those numbers are going to just magically, curt to your favor. It's just not going to happen. So if you want to be married and you want to have a family and you want to be happy, you need to come into the dating pool opening up your options. You don't need to spend 1 minute considering race loyalty, because you're going to end up very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not walking up that hill, because at the end of the day, my happiness comes first, and I'm not about to wait around for Black males to actually want to get married.
That's right.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to do that. I mean,
sorry, they've already presented that they really don't like getting married, and then they sit up at 40 and 50 trying to get with 20-something-year-olds.
Okay.
And it's not gonna work in the long run. It really doesn't work unless they're like a sugar daddy or offering some sort of value, monetary value, really, because like their health is already gonna deteriorate messing around with a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah.
So, and on average, I feel like women our age prefer men our own age anyway.
Exactly.
Yes, and you should have men in your own age. I mean, yeah, that never works because there's not true love. If you're 50 and you're with a 20-year-old, does she really love you? I mean, there's always an exception to the rule, but serious, for the most part, does she really love you, or does she love your assets? Does she love the power you carry? Does she love how you could, do things for her?
Well, I'll tell you
like,
this.
what do you at 40 years old have in common with a 20-year-old? Like, for real. Like, I get in arguments with people on YouTube because they glorify large age gap relationships. They glorify it on here. on YouTube. In the comment
Yeah.
section, you see some of these men, they say the sickest stuff. Oh, they're consenting adults. That don't make a dang difference to me.
Mhm.
They're still too young to be. He's still too
I
old to be chasing these young girls, even if she's a
yeah.
consenting adult. You
I
know,
Mhm.
I think it's control.
It's for control.
Because
it
Many of them
definitely
think,
is.
I believe many of them
yeah.
think and believe that that's what they're going to get. Because really, tell you the truth, to be honest with you, you got to remember at the end of the day, men are men and women are women. So whatever you allow them to get away with is what they're going to get away with. So
Yeah.
if you're young and impressionable and you have an underdeveloped frontal lobe and you don't really know, you don't have a constitution, you're just kind of moving aimlessly through life, and whatever feels good and sounds good, that's what you go with. You will end up in a bad space with them, because whether the man is educated or not, he has experience and he has that gender power dynamic over you. So I don't agree that, like when you were mentioning your situation, I don't agree with, by and large, most women dating older men. But if they do, I
Yeah.
hope they come with someone telling them how to handle and finesse that, because they're going to take your youth away from you,
hmm
and you might as well get something in the bargain. Like I said, I'm not supporting any
Yeah,
type of
you will
situation, but
be you will be robbed of your youth. And
you will
like
be
I
robbed of your
told
youth.
creating about my situation and what
Mhm.
happened to me. I was 18 with a 45-year-old man, and I was young, impressionable, and he took advantage of that. And he was very abusive, narcissistic. He knew the power dynamics. He knew I wasn't even in college at the time. I was straight out of high school.
Mhm.
Straight out of high school. And that's how they get them, straight out of high school and
Mhm.
coming from broken homes. That's how they get them. A lot of
Mhm.
them get them, and that's how they victimize them. They get these girls and stuff, and that's what I went through. I went through a very, very horrible relationship, and it just changed me. And I decided that, like, for a while, I just, like, I'm never dating an older man again,
Mhm.
because of what I went through. And it was very painful situation. That's why I am, like, against large age gap relationships. I've always been that way
Well, you
because
know what?
of my experience.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not out here beating a drum. I promise you that if it had not been the fact that I come from an older family and was born on the end with these older parents, so I asserted myself differently in this world, I'm pretty sure I could have been ran over. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here sitting here, beating no drum, making it seem like I have some kind of special, unique talent or skill. It comes from the pedigree in which I derive from. Because if I had been the oldest of my family, like the majority of my classmates, I would have probably been able to handle him. It would have been a very different story. I'm just going to put it
Yeah.
out there. Okay.
Yeah.
It's because I knew how to navigate that. I grew up in a house with people who were adults. You know what I'm saying? My oldest sister had a child before I came into the world. I was born an auntie. I'm telling you, I had a very unique situation, but I know for a fact that most of the situations are like yours. Okay. And so I trust me when I
Definitely.
tell you, I hear you when you speak this. Okay. You
Yeah.
are not an anomaly. I am more or less the exception. You are the rule, okay? The experience that you had, because this is what they go for, and this is why they go for them that young.
Yep.
Because they know that
If you
they're
come
older
from a
and they can
broken home,
manipulate them.
if you come from
Pardon
a
me?
broken home, if you're young and you come from a broken home and they
Mhm.
know you got no parental protection and nobody,
Right.
no, like, people surrounding, no adults surrounding you and educating you on how to avoid men like that, they will take advantage of you, and they will do you really bad, and they will suck the youth right out of you, right out of
Mhm.
you.
Yes, they
They
will.
really will. So that's why I tell young people, no. Stay. If you come from a broken home and you come from a place where your family's not protecting you, your mom's not educating you on these older men, stay away from them, please. Please.
Yeah.
Take my advice. Stay away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean the age gap. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just going to say, I just think that the Generation Z, they come in with a whole different flavor, though. By and large, I don't think my generation know exactly what's coming. because I know I'm trying. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm letting them know, don't let them steal your youth. They're with you because you're young and beautiful and youthful. So what are you getting in the trade? You think about that, because once youth is gone, you're gonna be in the pool of possibility just like everybody else. And then I don't know. I can't predict what their life cycle will be, but I can tell you one thing, intellectually, emotionally, and everything, you're not even the same generation as these people. You're gonna want to still be free to roam, and they're gonna want you sitting there babysitting them. A lot of them are not moving like Samuel Jackson in movies and stuff. That man's in his 70s. I'm serious. That's a unique. These are unique individuals who train and do all this stuff because of their industry and their job. But by and large, you got to be careful how you navigate this, because, like I said, they're gonna take that youth from you. They're only gonna get older. You're gonna get better. As far as because when you leave your 20s, you got your 30s, and man, when your 40s come, you are not going to have the patience to be still dealing with some old fossil. You'll probably have departed from them by then. I'm serious. You'll probably have departed from them, because the reality is that the life cycle,
unless you want to change the pins, that I'm just saying,
right? The life cycle of those relationships are on decline because, unfortunately, my generation, they're not living as long as they thought, because they're not taking care of themselves, and they have the health conditions and stuff that are naturally coming with that age group, especially African American men. And those blue pills only give you longevity, but they do not do anything
and they
for
don't
your
practice
heart and
safe
your
sex.
lungs. That's right.
They don't practice safe sex. The older generation does not.
You said they give you longevity? What do you mean by that?
Well, they give you an extended duration of performance, but that doesn't change the way your heart clicks and your lungs inhale and exhale. You know what I'm saying? You still got to take care of your
something
body.
Interesting, creating something interesting about this. You got 39-year-olds now taking blue pills.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you got 39. Like one of the actors I knew from like when I was in high school, and he was talking about like his wife put him on blast, and she said that he takes blue pills. I'm like, he's 39 years old. What the heck he need the blue pill for? And it's like, wow, they're running themselves through the mud.
Yeah, here's what I'd say about this. And speaking to men, look, if you live a healthy life and eat right and eat the food you're supposed to,
yes,
that stuff, your body will take care of that. That's a natural thing.
Leave it drugs and alcohol alone too.
Yeah.
And,
that'll destroy
and also,
it too.
Also stop sleeping around, because even that can mess up your stamina and everything like that. You sleeping around and catching STI, that'll mess you up too.
Yes, that's
true.
That'll mess you up too, and you're gonna need a blue pill. Like
Very
seriously,
true.
that's just the 39-year-old man got to take a blue pill. I was like, oh my Lord.
Ooh, wow.
Well, they experiment with stuff now, because everybody wants to be a porn star. So
does he really need it, or is he trying?
Yeah, he's taking it.
Some of them need it.
Said
some of them
do
prescribed
to him.
So here's why some of them
literal. Some of them as young as 25 are taking these pills.
Wow, what?
Yes,
these men think that all that sleeping around won't do anything to them.
They're sleeping around so much, and it's messing up their stamina. It's messing them up as men, because they're sleeping with random women, and it's like, you got to give your body a break. You can't be doing that. Yeah. And if you're not giving your body a break and taking a break, you're going to run your body through the mud. So you got guys as young as 25 taking little blue pills. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense though. Our diets are so horrible, and people. Yeah. Well, you get diseases that'll take a toll. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Pro-white leadership jumped off. Did she get bumped off?
I think she might have crashed. She'll probably, if she comes back.
Yeah. I don't see her in the comment section. She might have just stepped away.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. That I was just surprised by that, and it's like the way our diets are and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
everything like that, and then drugs too, because
Me
you got them
certainly, yeah.
opioids out there, and they're on them opioids and
Oh,
everything.
that'll kill you too.
Mm-hmm.
That'll
Yeah.
mess up. Yeah, that'll mess up your stamina. That'll mess up your body and everything. You
Yeah.
lose your mojo right there. It's game over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy seeing that men as young as 25 and eating the blue pill, and it's like, wow.
It's terrible.
I
It's
find that hard to believe. 25. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I you're probably right, but well, yeah, I know you're right because some people
And the
destroy
fact
their
that they don't
bodies.
go and the fact that they don't go and get themselves tested, and they don't get the medicine that they need when they catch STIs, that messes up
Mm,
your
yeah.
your body. It'll mess up your reproductive system. It will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
There's
like these people are obviously playing the "I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time" card, because I mean, you start out doing that stuff in your late 20s and early 30s, it's just going to go downhill. I mean, because like I said, you still got to take care. You might have some problems with ED, but you're going to have some serious health issues if you don't take care of your overall health.
Yeah.
Because there might be a reason or whatever for why you might be experiencing ED. It might be something that might be that can be easily fixed with therapy. But when you talk about your organ systems failing, you can't go to therapy and get that fixed and corrected once they start breaking down. I mean, there are medications
Well,
you
no.
can take for whatever to extend, but you in your late 20s and stuff, and you're facing what do they call it? What is it with the heart, congestive heart failure?
Yeah.
That stuff don't improve itself. I mean, you can take most people. I've tried to help friends from my own graduating class with kids on how to improve their health, and most of them are Black men, and that's what they say. Oh, who wants to eat more vegetables? Oh, all you do is eat trees and bark. Okay, well, you know what? I'm 52 years old. I come from a family with a disposition, genetically predisposed to high blood pressure, and I don't have it. Okay, so it must be something I done the last 30 years that's right. And it's sad because they will spend more time joking and tripping over someone who's trying to tell them what's right, and then won't make any course correction and change. None. Literally go from having high blood pressure to now you're on the list for a kidney transplant.
Or heart disease. You need a heart transplant.
And you're not even 60. And you still got babies that haven't even matriculated high school yet. And they laugh and talk about this. So that's why I say, to be honest with you, I don't really, I know, you think someone married or whatever, they would be more, but I do believe that there must be a space in their head where they just don't care if they check out, because who in the world has married and has children and treat their body that way, eating all that crappy food? You've been on blood pressure medication since you're in your late 20s. Doctor's been telling you that you need to watch your diet, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then, I was a vegetarian for 10 years, and I tried to coach people. You think anything changed with how people were eating? No change in behaviors, whatever. I'm telling you, in 10 years, he went from high blood pressure to organ failure.
Wow.
And he was one of my main critics on my diet. One of the main critics.
You know what I've seen people talk about juicing with vegetables and fruits and trying to eat natural foods, where they've said that cancer patients have done really well with this stuff. People with immunity problems.
Yep.
If you got to think about it, our bodies are made for food that comes from the earth, natural food. Fruits, vegetables, and a little meat. I mean, meat is okay.
We're just not supposed to be eating meat, and meat's not supposed to be the main course. We're supposed to be more vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not supposed to be gulping down fatty foods and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, more leaner meats like fish and chicken and stuff.
That's right, Brent.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
love. That's all I got. In my fridge is fish. I'm kind of going towards the pescatarian diet, where it's just
Mm-hmm.
fish and vegetables and stuff and fruits, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying away from meat. Meat ain't. I just don't mess with meat. Not red meat. None of that meat. Heck no. Not even pork.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
hey PW. Happy anniversary 10 years on YouTube. Well,
Hey
yeah,
PW.
I've had an account for 10 years, but I started doing videos and stuff like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wanted to do YouTube, but I had to get out of my comfort zone and just do it.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
look where you're at now. You've
Right.
really,
Okay.
yeah, you're look where
Yeah,
you're at now.
it's all right. It's doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with it. If it don't go any further, I'm okay. Um,
Watermelon is actually good for your gut. It's actually to help you
Watermelon.
with digestive. Yeah, your digestive system. Watermelon helps with that.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yep.
watermelon, but I guess I shouldn't eat it with salt. But it's so
No,
good
I
with salt.
mean,
You're one of the
no.
salt people.
Oh goodness.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
goodness. You're one of
I
the
know that's
salt people,
wrong, but
Brent.
Oh jeez.
I know people who do that, put salt on their
yeah,
cantaloupe too. I'm like, you guys don't like it sweet? Oh my
No, I
goodness,
love
I
it
like
sweet. I
it
love
sweet. Me
cantaloupe
too.
without salt. I be looking at y'all like y'all crazy. Why you put salt?
uh, that's
It's
a bad habit.
hilarious.
I'll start eating watermelon with no salt. I
Or
promise.
just have a cute look, or just eat a cucumber.
A cucumber.
Yeah,
Yeah, leave the
honeydew,
watermelon
all the
alone.
melons. They're all good for your digestive system. They
Yeah,
help you
Yeah.
out.
Celery
Like
is too. You know, let me
celery,
tell you something,
definitely.
man. Celery is like a broom,
Mm.
literally.
It'll sweep you
Um,
right on out.
a lot of
Well,
people, will crap on celery. Like they just think that celery is just something that you cook with. People, periodically when celery goes up, and it's generally around like Lent, celery will really increase in prices, especially if they're not ahead of it. Not paying attention, because oftentimes people will do a lot of juicing during Lent, so they'll be plucking that celery off of the shelves, out of the produce section. But celery is excellent, and the better off, don't juice it. Put it in a blender and make a smoothie. That way you get all the fiber and everything. I'm telling you, it's like a
Yep.
broom. It really is like a
oh,
broom
okay.
for your gut.
I
I
love
just put
citrus
celery
fruits.
in
Like
all my smoothies, and then sometimes if I don't have a smoothie, I'll just have I'll make a little charcuterie board, and I'll have like some sliced apples, some celery, and a little peanut butter. And I'm telling you, it is the roughage and that celery is amazing. I'm
I
telling
love
you.
celery. That's my favorite. I love the
Yes,
smell of it
indeed.
and the taste of it. It's
Taste of
actually
it.
I love
Yes.
it.
I
See,
Yeah.
bet.
what?
If you're a little, if you feel like you're a little packed, eat you some celery. And here's what you do: try to get it into you regularly. Make it a part of your diet, and then that'll help you. Because I know a lot of people take Metamucils and stuff like that or whatever, and I'm like, you guys don't eat celery? Oh no,
I'd rather do it. Yeah, I'd rather do it naturally.
yeah,
I've been juicing. That way, it keeps my digestion because
yes,
Yeah, I love
yes,
making smoothies.
yes.
See,
Love it.
I haven't made smoothies in a while, but I want to get back into that because that I love smoothies.
see, y'all,
Yes.
y'all wouldn't believe me, but I'm allergic to fruit.
Oh
oh,
my
are you?
Are you
god,
really?
really?
Oh,
Yeah, like I can't eat it. Like ever since I can remember, when I eat it, it just makes my gums and my throat itch.
oh,
And
Oh
then sadly,
wow.
I'm allergic to salad too. I get the same sensation.
hmm.
Oh
So do
no.
you
Wow,
What do
that
you
take
do?
sucks.
What do you do to
I'm
supplement that?
so
supplements?
so now I have been taking the Goli gummies and I've been working out more frequently. But for me, it's just portion control. Like that's pretty much what I can do and
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, eat better, just focus on what I can control and not eat like junk, drink water,
So what would a typical, if you don't mind me asking, on a regular day, what would a typical dinner look like for you, or a typical meal for you, since you can't have fruit and vegetables?
Um So, I mean, I'm in college right now. So, as far as like vegetables, I can't have it raw. If it's raw, it'll make my mouth itch. Or if
Okay.
it's like undercooked in any way, like I can't have it.
Okay.
So, I can eat like sauteed spinach or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it just has to be cooked. It doesn't really have to be seasoned or any way. I'm okay with bland like green stuff, but for me
Mm-hmm.
it's just eating um not too much starch, making sure
Okay.
it's only like one piece of meat, not too much meat on my plate. And I think it's been the gummies, but I haven't been like I've been getting full quicker. So my portions
Okay.
by
The
default have been
fiber's in it.
getting smaller. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
that's
I've been
good. As
just
long as you
eating
got a
a lot.
way to get, because I
Yeah.
have a protein enzyme deficiency, which is one of the reasons why I had to go vegetarian because I couldn't get a diagnosis, so I had to figure it out on my own. So
Mm.
it's good to pay attention to your body. I just wish more people would do it. Pay
Mhm.
attention to what's going on. Whatever your body is telling you it doesn't want or rejecting, you know, work with it. Because trust me, there's a diet out there. There's some way, around it. There's supplements and stuff, fiber supplements and stuff that you can take, protein powders, vegan protein powders. There's a lot of different things. Try various different things as you can. Um, if you're inclined to. I know you've mastered it for the most part, but have you ever? What do you think about the vegan proteins?
Vegan proteins, I
Like
don't
Vega,
mind that.
like Vega. Vega makes a different vegan proteins, a protein shake. I mean powders and stuff
Is
like.
it good? Is it good?
Yes, it's very good. I was on it
Oh, I
when I
might
was,
try that.
yeah, I was pressing weight and I looked, well, I'll show you guys a picture of what I looked like when I was really hitting the gym 2-3 hours a day. And I was a vegan at that time, vegan vegetarian. But I'll show it one day on my channel. But what I was saying was the a lot of people will tell you, oh, you can't build a body as a vegan and you can as a vegetarian, which is crap. No, yes, you can. And a lot of them take protein based supplement, and it's all plant based. And it helps for a lot of people. A lot of people think that a lot of folks are vegan or vegetarian because they're tree huggers. Many of them are like that, like myself, is because they can't digest certain things. It's just, and there's no answer, there's no rhyme or reason, medication won't work. So they shift and change their diet so that they can be able to get nutrient in. You know what I'm saying?
That's with me. I can't like that for some reason. I can't eat meat anymore and
Mhm.
digest it. Like it makes me constipated, and I can't deal
Mhm.
with that no more. Like I don't know why. I don't know. I have no rhyme or reason, so that I don't eat meat anymore. I just don't
Mhm.
mess with it. I eat other things. I don't eat meat.
Mhm.
I can digest fish and all that, but I
Mhm.
don't eat meat.
Mhm.
No red meat. Yeah, that stuff you should. Well, red meat, if you eat it, you should do it like once a week. Unfortunately, we eat it almost every day, and that's what.
Yeah,
No, no, yeah, it's funny, but it tears us up because
yeah,
our
it
our body
does.
our body has a tough time breaking it down,
Mhm.
and it gets backed up. And I watched some one guy was saying, talking about health, and he says that we like got 20 or 30 pounds of waste in our body because
Uh-huh.
because of our diet. And you think about it, that's pretty nasty, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, when
gross.
you go to the bathroom, what comes out is everything what your body can't use,
I
and it's
mean,
disgusting.
yeah,
So if
even
that's
here,
sitting in your body,
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like Elvis's died, that gave me like
Oh my goodness. And
it
Oh,
gave me a
John Wayne
nightmare.
too? Wasn't John Wayne impacted when they did
I
his
don't know. I don't know, but they said he had pounds of waste in him
yeah.
when he
Well, his
oh
died.
diet
yeah,
was really crappy towards the
Yeah,
end of
peanut
his
butter
life.
yeah.
fried bananas and stuff. Like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
he had
Hey,
man.
hey,
his housekeeper making those weird sandwiches. We were talking about that the other night.
hey,
His housekeeper making
hey.
those weird sandwiches.
If I ever get famous, I'm gonna have a black woman make me peanut butter sandwich.
Peanut
No,
butter and
that's
banana sandwiches.
fried
No,
bananas, all that grease and stuff. No,
you know
25
what?
ew.
pounds of beef in
Hey,
his gut. Yeah, he was pretty impacted. John Wayne was too. That's right.
Yeah,
oh
25
yeah, he
pounds of
was too.
beef.
Yeah,
Jesus. That's why I said leave that red meat alone. That stuff
Yeah,
will
he
mess up
passed
your
out, I believe, on the
insides.
toilet.
Hey,
Artavirus, Elvis did.
Oh
oh,
my
did
lord.
hey, do
He
you
had a heart
guys
attack in the toilet.
hey, do you guys think I know we talked about this the other night. Do you think Elvis had relationships with black women? I mean,
Uh-huh.
he was
Yeah.
around them all the time.
Yeah, of course.
He
I
grew
think
up
he
in a
did.
I think he did
Absolutely.
I
too.
think his first kiss was with the black girl.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't be surprised by it. I think it was.
I know they would hide it back then, but I
Yeah,
bet
he would definitely hide it
Hi,
from his
Mark.
mom because hey Mark, because his mom was really racist. So yeah, he had
Mm-hmm.
to hide that from her. But I think he did. I think he messed around with
Oh,
black
oh
sure.
women.
yeah.
I'm telling you, he had those sweet inspirations traveling with him, all those beautiful girls.
Oh yeah. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
And being a man and being famous, I would. Oh, okay. I'm just saying, and you're well. He was
Sorry,
married. He was
Mark.
married though.
Yeah, Mark said the king died on the throne.
The king. Oh man. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, Elvis was like, he was something else in his younger days, but then he started getting really reckless with his diet and drinking and partying and stuff, and he
Yeah.
just inflated
Yeah.
like a Goodyear blimp.
Oh yeah, and all
But yeah,
that food. It's
All
that.
that food, not digesting, not having a good
Yeah,
digestion. He just got it. It's got look. Those
all
suits got
clogged up
bigger and
in there.
bigger. Look at
Yep.
let those suits out.
yeah. The king died on the.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I grew up as a kid watching the movies and stuff. So then when I
Yeah.
saw him with the long hair and the studded suits and stuff like that, because like I mostly saw Elvis in movies, like it happened at
Yeah.
the World's Fair, and I was like, that's the same person, Mom. That's the same person. I mean, because when he
Yeah.
died, it was such a big deal. It was like we mourned a president or something, and so in the house, so it was like. I was like, oh wow, he must be a pretty important guy. I mean, I think I was only like maybe 6 or 7 years old. And as I got older, I was like, oh wow, what did he look different? Because of course I saw the movies, they would repeat, and then I would say, I'm like, God, that don't even look like the man who
Yeah.
died. He had just it changed so much, it grew his hair out. And, of course, when he's in the movies, he was really nicely co-opted and stuff like that. And yeah, I loved Elvis as an actor. He was always very charming on screen.
Yeah. He was famous. I mean, and he was a good looking guy, right?
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I just
Definitely
Frankie
was.
and Johnny. That was another one I had.
mm, I've been interested because I'm digging because I want to know because they said one of the I guess the inspirations, the
Sweet Inspiration.
sweet inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying one of the women he did pursue, but
Well, I
nothing
know.
ever came from it.
Okay,
But
well, I do know that Whitney Houston's mom, Sissy, was a sweet inspiration, and she
yeah,
talked
she
about
was.
him heavily in that biography. Because I was like, okay, Sissy, is this book about your relationship with Whitney? Because you really, really dragged this book out talking about her tours and all the stuff that she did. Which very often this is what people do. They write a book or whatever. It's supposed to be about the deceased person, but it ends up being more about them. It was almost like it was a gut spilling session, and she talked about. I mean, she waxed poetic about Elvis, so it was like, see.
Yeah. I mean, it
You know,
is what it.
And they say he took very good care of them.
oh,
you
he
know,
did, yeah.
he took very good care of those ladies because you got to think about the time and the era when they were traveling. You know what I'm saying? He made sure that they were, they knew where they could go and how, they would stop on the roads. Elvis would get off with them and they go into the houses and stuff and eat. You guys know that, when you're during the certain time periods during like Jim Crow, Black people couldn't go into restaurants and stuff. So you would have like from the green list, they would have like these houses and stuff where they could stop. Little tour buses would stop, and then they would give them like change linens and stuff like that and give them food and stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
was kind of like, yeah, they had their own little spots and stuff where they could stop and go to. And yeah, so we don't know. Like you said, I mean, there's been hints of it, but we can put our imagination together, and I guarantee you we won't be far off.
Yeah, we ain't far off. He was messing around with them black women.
Sure.
Oh
He
yeah,
was definitely.
yeah, he had to. You can't resist that. Those ladies were so
He's
beautiful.
an attractive man. I mean, really?
Yeah, and
It's not hard to look at.
you can't resist. It'd be like
that dark hair and those blue eyes. Oh my goodness.
He was very attractive, especially
Very
when he first
Yeah.
debut. He was very attractive.
He was like a porcelain doll. He was just beautiful,
Yes, he
just
was.
aesthetically beautiful.
He was definitely attractive.
Almost
He had
like,
them girls.
you know,
He had all the girls screaming. I don't
Okay.
care.
So
All
he was
of them.
talented on behind on the stage and on screen. He came off very nicely in movies and stuff. So I know. I mean, it's just impossible, you know, for me to. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some people who are really they pretty much have probably disintegrated, moved on to the hereafter, and they're taking those stories with them. But I believe they say Sissy has dementia, so she's probably not talking a whole lot about anything where anybody's going to really take her word for word. But I'm pretty much sure though that somebody plugged her up and told her, okay, you know, that's enough, Sissy, you know, don't talk too much. Because I'm pretty sure she's got some stories. Because if she wasn't in the thick of it, she knows she's got some secrets. You know what I'm saying? You travel with him, you had to know where his little spots were, where he stopped to see his little girlfriends. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you, ladies, for coming on. I know people are dropping off, but I want I just want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. I know it's getting late, but you know, thank you guys for coming. This has been an awesome panel.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
it was
yes,
great.
it has.
Yeah, and you know, I would just say, ladies, go for the best option for you.
Yes.
Don't get caught up in the race, loyalty stuff. Be self-loyal.
Yes.
Because you know what? It's about you. And you need to make it about you.
That's right.
Don't worry about a man's image or hurting his feelings. It's about your feelings. And if he can't provide, protect, or sacrifice for you, you don't need him.
That's right.
It just is what it is. And
definitely.
And the interracial thing, black women, if you want a white guy, you could have it.
Oh, PPP says she wanted to come up.
Oh yeah, okay, come on up, PPP.
It was about to head off. Bounce off.
I'll put the link up there again.
Mark said he ripped off black artists when recording his music. Yes, he did.
Yep.
Oh
he did.
yeah, he did.
Definitely did.
Oh yeah, he
what he did was, because it wasn't, you know, he was able to get away with things because of his complexion. And like Big Mama Thornton's Hound Dog, he took that and commercialized that song, but that was originally hers.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't the copyright laws that they got now.
Yeah.
So
and they couldn't get airplay. They couldn't get the kind of airplay that black artists couldn't get the kind of airplay.
Yeah, they only had they had a black radio station, and it was on a certain time of the day, and that was it. And that's the only time you were able to hear other artists.
That's kind of the reason why a lot of black artists came through what they called the Chitlin circuit. That was the era where they could play, that they weren't booted out and didn't have to deal with the issues and stuff. And then of course, where the circuits also were like you said, the stations that had the little time that they could play their music. But if you wanted to be mainstream, they pretty much had to give your music to white artists to sing your music.
Pretty much back then. That's sad though. Sad but true.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, I mean, he profited off black people's music. He did. And you know, but other artists have done it too. You look at
it's going on now. I mean, they're literally, black artists are doing it with each other. They're literally stealing people's stuff, you know, and some of them, you know, if they look at them, they've got a lot of artists that you'll never see underground. They're underground until times like this where you have social media and people can self-promote. But prior to that, they would take people's talent and basically use them as an oracle and let them spin off tunes and stuff. And then they would give them to these mainstream artists, and the artist would be the lead pen on it. And then you would never know really who a lot of these people were. I mean,
Yeah.
I know, like, and it happened to even Robin Thicke. Robin Thicke was a Grammy Award winning artist before he recorded his own music.
Yep.
From Usher. He got his
wow.
first Grammy from Usher.
Robin
That's
Thicke
crazy.
messed up. That
Yeah, oh boy.
oh
When
God,
when he messed up with Paula, oh my God, he drilled a hole in his entire legacy.
oh, Paula she's so beautiful, and you know what? He needs to be choked. He
You
needs to
know
be
what, Brent?
choke slammed.
I really
kicked,
felt
and
like I took it personally because here's why.
hey, I
I
took it
remember-
personally.
I remember when he had the long hair and hippie riding on the motorcycle in his first video, When I Get You Alone, and nobody would really listen to him and pay attention. I was like, okay, guys, that's Alan Thicke's son, from the
Yeah.
show and everything. And his mom, they're both, both singers. And people weren't really feeling him like that. But I used to play I kind of helped promote him like locally, so to speak, in my little clique. And then Andre Harrell, he's one of the artists, was what I'm talking about. Andre Harrell did not like his look and wasn't interested in investing in him, but he realized he had this crazy talent for writing, right? So he basically used him as an oracle, where he was writing these tunes and stuff for Uptown Records. And then it was because of Pharrell who took a look and asked him, what are you doing with that artist? Oh, no, in other words, he's just, he writes some songs and blah, blah. And so it was Pharrell who got with him and got him, cut his hair, change his look up, and commercialized him, you know what I'm saying? And that's what gave him the spot. And then the thing, like I said, he had this relationship with Paula that had went back all the way to when they were teenagers. And then he blew it with her. And torpedoed basically his whole career.
PPP says she can't fry chicken, though. You know what? As fine as she is, you know what? I'll learn the fried chicken for you.
I know how to fry.
Right.
I learned how to fry chicken from my grandma.
Well,
so I know
Paula's
how to
mom
fry.
is white, so
I was about 10 though when I learned how to fry chicken.
Paula's mom white?
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, her
Paula,
mom
okay.
was.
so
She's
Paula may not know
biracial.
how to fry chicken because she wasn't probably raised around anybody who was frying chicken.
Oh, okay.
But
That
I know
makes
some white people didn't fry some chicken. Michael Ray can fry some chicken. I'm pretty sure he can fry some chicken. He would have taught her.
Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
There are a lot of people who can fry. Look, don't be sleeping on Southern people, because Southern people can fry.
Buttermilk, especially buttermilk.
Yes, indeed. Cornbread,
Oh.
peas. Some of them can cook a real good Southern meal, man. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Buttermilk is amazing.
Yeah,
I love
she's
cornbread.
biracial.
That's
Her
my
dad
favorite.
I think her dad is black.
Yeah.
She talks about living across the street from the studios and stuff. That's how she was able to meet him. Because he kind of frequented the studios because of his dad.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
I was disappointed too, because he had promised that he was not going to be like his dad. His dad was quite a bit of a philanderer. He messed up with his mom, and so.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Gloria Loring. She come off the soaps, but she's a beautiful chanteuse, beautiful voice. But he said he was not going to be like him, and so I was like, okay. I was like okay, I'm pulling for him because I'm hyping up his music and I'm loving him as a couple, and then boom. I mean, I don't really know what he did, but whatever it is, anytime you make a woman that's been with you for that long don't want no parts of you, you have really ruined things. So, we can read between the lines. And then he tried to make that album and dedicate it to her and get her back, and she was gone. It was a wrap.
Yeah, it's foolish. When you do foolish things, you lose the good things in your life.
But check this out. He's got this young, beautiful girl. And he hasn't married her. He got about 3 kids with her, 3 babies, and she's stamping out those kids quick. But he hasn't married her, and he probably won't marry her. I don't see him marrying her.
Jeez.
I don't see him.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have kids first. You get married first.
Well, she's a young girl.
That's
I think
right.
Cynthia Gary. I think what her goal was, she thought that she had really probably landed something because he's a popular artist, and he's mainstream or whatever, and he comes from a family, a Hollywood legacy family. So a lot of times for some young ones, that's all they want, and they think, I don't really see him marrying her. He's got 3 kids with her. He's in love with Paula. And the thing is that she looks just like Paula. This is the thing. It's the same thing with like Kanye. Kanye's first girlfriend looked just like Kim. When a man is that fixed on his wife, especially given the fact that he was dating her as a teenager. I mean, they were together most of their life. I mean, that girl is clearly a what I call a groupie on steroids for the most part, who just happen to have 3 kids with him. But she probably already knows that he will never marry her, and this is probably as good as it's going to get with her. So she's just going to hang on as long as she can, and hopefully she can get some good child support out of it. Because I don't think he'll ever marry her. I don't think there's no incentive to marry her. She's giving him 3 kids.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all heard about Kanye going crazy again.
Has he?
Yeah, he cussing out Chris, and then he's saying a bunch of crazy stuff on there, talking about my kids ain't gonna be in no porno, and you ain't gonna do this to me, Kim. My kids are going to my school, because he has a school, of course. And he he's having those rants again, those usual rants, and he's cussing out Kim. Like, it's like, dude, what the heck?
Why would he get with Kim though? You know what?
Because he's a self-hater.
Yeah, he's got some issues.
I mean, she had issues before. Wasn't she married to that basketball player? He was messing with her.
The tall guy, mixed guy. And then she dated Reggie Bush, football player.
Then she was with Ray J. And then I don't know if y'all know, allegedly, when she was with Ray J, she was stealing Brandy's money.
Really?
Oh yeah, allegedly she was stealing their money.
I never really, to be honest with you, as far as Kardashian goes, my history with them is with their dad being part of OJ's dream team and being his friend. I never really collectively got involved with them.
A lot of people said that Chris slept with OJ.
It's very possible, and it's not by anything that would be shocking, because
not shocking at all.
Yeah, because these people did a lot of swapping and stuff.
So they did a lot of swinging.
Yeah, a lot of swinging. Mm-hmm.
You know what? The Kardashian. Yeah,
I don't know what he was marrying. To be honest with to be honest with you, Kanye did a lot of weird, strange things after his mom died. He just kind of spun off axis.
He lost it after his mom passed away.
Nothing he seemed to do. He's still crazy talented, but he just was never the same.
He ain't been the same since his mom passed away.
Yeah, he hasn't been the same.
He completely lost it, man. And I feel bad because Kim is using him. And she is, I worry that her and her mom might try to plot something and put him on a conservatorship if he keep doing all this.
Well, he's certainly giving them reason and rationale for doing it.
Yeah. You know what? She's a walking red flag. Well, all the Kardashians are. It's a bunch of crap. I don't know. I seen.
People call Michael say they're witches. Let me just say this:
they got the Jezebel spirit. Period.
Yeah,
they have something, but you got to remember that they're not going out recruiting these men. These men are drawn to them. Okay, you got to let men take responsibility for their actions. Okay,
yeah, definitely.
Because they didn't turn anybody this way. These men had a switch that was down and it flipped. They were drawn to them because if you think about it, when I look at the Kardashians, I know they got money, all right, but essentially they're just as uncouth as the average family that you could find. Only difference is they got cameras following them around. But you have these narcissistic men, these men with all these issues, they're drawn to them because, who else would have them? You're not going to find them in the Obamas. You're not going to find them hanging around, the Rockefellers or anything like that. So the Kardashians is money enough, but ghetto enough to make it feel like a real life experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they're naturally drawn to them. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had this conversation with black men before too, about them saying that the Kardashians putting spells on them. No, these men are drawn. I mean, think about it.
Those men willfully
Went into this situation. I
Yep.
mean, like the young girl, the one that's the Jenner girl. Okay, first of all, Black China would have never got a baby in that family if Tigger hadn't cheated on her with the with the girl. He
with
brought
Kylie
her.
Jenner when she was 17.
That's right. He's the one. So if they want to
Wow.
blame someone for having the Kardashian name, because you know her baby girl carries a Kardashian dream, she would have never been. There would have. They literally deposited her in the vicinity of that family when Tigger cheated on her with the Jenner girl. So they're responsible for the stuff that they do, but people also bring them. They want to be near them because of they're like a light. You know what I'm saying? And so they're drawn to them for very specific reasons. But you know that a lot of the messy has been created. It's been self-created for the drama and television, and they don't like it. You know, when things don't go right and in their life, but their life is just in front of cameras. This is what they wanted. They wanted to be people followed around and everything. So this is what you get.
Yeah.
You know, you get the good with the bad. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody following me around like that. Every time you go here or go there or whatever, somebody's got a camera on you and reporting on your movement.
Yeah,
seriously.
Well,
but I understand what Kanye means. He's concerned for his kids because he doesn't want his kids all into that. With
you can't.
White male leadership. Yeah, I totally understand too. But see, here's the thing.
He shouldn't have got with her.
There you go.
He shouldn't have got with her in the first place.
Kanye had a young girl who wasn't even a part of the Hollywood scene, and he dumped her for Amber. Okay. He was
with a black woman before that. What was it? Kim Porter? I think no. It was another woman.
With another girl, a really beautiful girl that his mom approved.
It was a black woman. She was she was really in with the what do they call them? The brands like Vogue and all that. She was a real famous designer. I forgot what her name was, but he was with her before he got with Kim. She taught him about fashion, and he took all that when he got with Kim and took all that with him.
Well, remember before Kim, also remember it was Amber.
Yep.
So he was slowly drifting, you know, then, and so that's why it didn't surprise me. And he had said when he was before he got with Kim, the word was that Kim was he wanted to get with Kim.
He had his sights on her from
the
start.
Sights on her. She was his dream girl, you know. Yep. So, you know, he pursued her, and you know, and he got her. So
he got her, and then he lost her, and then now he complaining.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what you get. You know, ain't nobody's gonna rescue you.
She hung out with that crowd, Prissy Pretty Poodle.
I mean, her best friend was Paris Hilton. That should tell you something.
Yeah.
I am so surprised that Paris Hilton survived, because that girl looked like she was trying to take herself out of here and unalive herself. Seriously, the partying that her and Nicole Richie and Kim Kardashian. Oh my goodness, they were like,
her parents put her in that one place that you know that one place Dr. Phil was that Dr. Phil got in trouble.
That ranch.
That ranch, she was in there. She said that they were beating her and everything and locking her in the basements and stuff and locking her. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What does it have? Dr. Phil was in that?
Yeah, he's involved.
He was associated with the ranch.
He was associated with the ranch. In his shows, he would put bad kids in those ranch.
He would send them there. He would have you refer them to the ranch.
That's why Bad Baby is trying to sue him for that, because he put Bad Baby in there, and she suffered a lot of abuse while she was in that ranch.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that Malaysia or Malaysia? She said her name is Alexis. She taught him
Alexis.
They were engaged before his mother passed. That's right. You're exactly right. After his mother passed, he just spun off. He just started, you know, grabbing beautiful muses. He was no longer connected to his old self, and he hasn't been the same since.
No. Alexis, she was beautiful black woman,
Yes, she
tall.
was. I remember.
Man, you see that picture of her? Oh my goodness. What the heck was
Well,
he thinking? He didn't left her for Kim. I'm like, what the heck were you thinking? Are you
Yeah.
lost?
it's
God dang.
the snow bunny crisis.
Well, here's the thing.
We can
I've
fix
never
it
had,
though.
I never had a problem with Kim. The problem that I had was his behavior that would never get checked. Because see, if you think about it, yeah, I know his mom passed away and that kind of spun him off axis, but it seemed to me, now if I would say anything, I would say that in the beginning of his dissension, they used that to their benefit. He didn't have no more checking and balancing system in his life once he crossed over. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he had no stability.
Yeah.
That's right. Nobody there really cared about him. They were like, okay, look, we're gonna make the chicken dance. Let's crank up the oven, the heat on the frying skillet. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what they did. They gaslit him into, and then when he got out of control, then all of a sudden, trust me, I don't like to see any woman being abused, stalked, mistreated like that. Man, buy a house, across the street from where you live. I don't like the way he's doing this, but she has to take responsibility for the part she played in this, because she could have left Kanye out there. She did not have to. I mean, people saw Kanye unraveling, and she liked him or whatever. I never really saw him as doing anything that she would really go for. So it was surprising to me when I found out that she was going to marry him. I was like, really? Because she always went for biracial guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, she used to date one of the Jackson's sons. I think it was Jafar. It was one of Jermaine's kids, I think. And of course,
one white guy too.
Yep, Humphreys was mixed. The basketball player that she was married to, he was mixed. But mostly she goes for a specific type, and Kanye didn't fit that criteria. I mean, there were other men. I think she even dated Nick Cannon, and Ray J. But I didn't think she would be seriously marrying. You see what I mean? There's a difference between actually, who you date and whatever you marry.
Tell me something. When Whitney Houston passed at the Grammys, was Ray J involved with that?
They said that he wasn't involved. But he was supposed to be the last person. Well, okay.
I heard so many rumors.
I'm biased when it comes to Whitney. Okay, I'm just gonna call the thing a thing. I am biased with her. I do have a blind spot where she's concerned. But I do believe that he has something to do with purveying her drugs. I do believe that. But being that she has a history of drug use, it's hard to get anybody to be blamed for that.
Yeah.
When you've got your own pipeline to supply. So when he hung out with her, he was probably likely using, and then doing this thing. I didn't really care. I never cared for Ray J. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't care for Ray J. I didn't care for Ray J doing and saying the stuff he said about Kim. Now, let me be clear. I don't have a problem with Kim. I don't like her. I don't hate her. But I don't like men using women, creating these, adult tapes and stuff. And because your career don't take off the way hers does, you don't get to slut shame her. She's a mother. She's married. And, because at the end of the day, she, before that tape, she did come from wealth. Okay. Her father was a wealthy attorney, and her mother took the Jenner enterprise and revolutionized it. Okay. So you can't sit up here and act. Yeah, we may not have known who she was specifically, because she's not really known for anything other than being a part of the Jenner Kardashian clan. But he had a sister who was very talented, and he couldn't market himself favorably on, as much as he could on that. He rode Whitney Houston's coattails. So, so by the time Whitney Houston passed away, and he was in close proximity with her, plus there was history that they had dated. Whitney said they didn't date. They were just friends. But, he was always suspect to me, as far as I'm concerned, because he always hung around her, and he was kind of like a coattail kind of person. You know what I'm saying? He hung around beautiful, wealthy women.
Yeah. And well, I don't know, because when this all took place, they were saying last seen with her boyfriend Ray J, and I was like, and me and my wife looked at each other and says, "Why would she be with him? There's
Yeah.
such an age gap." And I don't know. I just
And besides, I thought she was still married to Bobby all the way up until her death.
uh I don't think so. I think they
No,
got
they had
divorced.
dissolved that. They dissolved that, I think, before she went in. I think part of her whole process of getting herself together, the divorce came through that, was at the top of
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Bobby ruined her life. Good Lord.
he certainly didn't add to it. He certainly didn't
Yeah.
add to it. He certainly did not add to it.
Hey,
They were just not good for each other at all. I mean, I know that Kevin was not available, but you know what? Neither was Bobby when she met Bobby. So, and I'm not supporting people having affairs, whatever, but I truly believe her life would have been different if her and Kevin had walked, this life together. Because he truly was in love with her. I mean, that man will not, he given the chance to speak about Whitney, he's going to drop something about Whitney, his relationship with Whitney. I mean,
yeah.
you guys saw that funeral when there was no one could follow him after he was done. They struggled to get back on program after he got up there and delivered his part of the eulogy. Right. I mean, literally.
Yeah, and he was so emotional about
and he literally basically apologized to his then current wife because it was like this was his opportunity to open up his guts and spill them, because it was like he needed to release the fact that he was in love with this woman. Yeah. And he was as much, he tried to be as tactful as he could be, but he let it. And then, of course, subsequently, any opportunity when he was in interviews and her name was brought up, he would unpack a little bit more. It's like, this dude, but you could tell.
Yeah, well, it was his idea for the Bodyguard movie. He really
okay. And people told me that I was delusional back in '92. I said, there's something there.
Something there. I always believed there was.
I'm gonna step down.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think she would. Well, who could say? I mean, I do believe she'd been better off with him.
I do too. I mean, I don't know how things would have gone, but I always felt that Bobby was just not a good choice for her. They were like gas, got petrol and a match, a friction lighter. It was nothing good was going to come of it. And it's just even the worst of the worst is that her daughter followed in the same. It's like, how can you, and this is not me putting any blame specifically on Bobby, but Bobby was not God's design for her. It could not be any worse of a tragedy to have her daughter pretty much go out the same way in which she did. It just,
and she was wild, so you can't totally blame him. So
right, yeah, I totally can't blame him, but you know how sometimes people just aren't good for each other. They bring out the worst in each other, and they shouldn't be together. That's how I saw their relationship, because at the top of their relationship, when he was getting in trouble, I don't know if you remember, he stayed in trouble with the law and stuff.
Yeah,
and this is when she was starting to spiral. She was starting to lose the gravity of her career and started slipping more and more. It's like she had to fall so that he could rise. You know what I'm saying? He could step. And it was the worst thing to witness, because it was like she had to diminish herself, make herself lesser. So yeah, it was a very sad situation all around. Very sad.
Yeah. No, that was it was tragic. Yeah.
Very tragic. But yeah, I always knew it. I always felt something, with her and Kevin. And of course, I wasn't trying to disrespect either one of their relationships, but I just felt something that was more. I saw something more in between them, but I left it alone. I didn't get in. People were telling me, you just like interracial relationships. I was like, no, it's not that. It's just that there's something there. There's chemistry there that is not. That is, you can create chemistry on screen, But there's
Yeah.
something when she's in his presence. There's a care that he seems to have for her. You don't really necessarily may see it with her, but I don't know how she feels about him. But I said he's in love with her, and I was
Yeah.
clear about that, and I clearly wasn't wrong because he is not mincing any words about that.
No, yeah. And if you're just friends, you'll grieve a little bit, but not like that. He was broke down like that was his wife kind of
Right. It's because
thing.
it's palpable because whenever you have something that's protected and it's close to you, you don't get to mourn it properly because it's supposed to be something that you're to keep in secret. But when he got an opportunity to mourn her when she passed, because see, there's different mournings. There's the mourning of him not being able to love her openly. Okay. So he's mourning because clearly he's in love with her, but she has no real true interest in him. Okay. Then when she passes away, he gets the permission to tell everybody what she meant to him and do it unchecked. You know what I'm saying? Because who's going to check a man who is mourning someone, anyone, so he got a chance to be very open and very vocal. And I mean, he talked about the stuff that they talk about. I mean, that was like, to me, I was like, wow, this kind of reminds me of me and my fiance, where they would sit and talk and have conversations about when they were kids and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you spend a lot of time making a movie. We already know, Brent, when you make movies and stuff, you can tend to bond with people on cast because you spend a lot of time together with them, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't unusual at all when he started to talk about it. Not at all. And so
Yeah, and that kissing scene was a lot more powerful than the Star Trek one.
Sure, especially the end.
It was,
yeah.
no, just yeah, but you know what? I see this. He loved her, and I could see it too.
Yes.
And here's the thing: I've been in interracial relationships my whole life, and I know I see it, and I see people, black women, white men, and I know how much white men love black women. It's like a love that just so powerful, and I think Kevin had that. I could see it. It's like,
yep. Nobody
is-
believed me. Nobody believed me. It took nearly 20 years before people could actually see what I said. And my phone was ringing during that time because they televised the funeral and everything. And I was like, I had been saying for years, I said, look, I don't know how Whitney feel about him.
Yeah.
But
I don't know either.
I know this man is in love. I know what that look looks like. When he would look at her like at the award show, it was like there's something beyond what than a co-worker or somebody he felt like he needed to take care of her and took her under his wing and all this.
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
I don't think that was a love of just, hey, I love you, you're a great friend. No, this is like,
it was more.
I want to I want you to be everything. I want to be your everything type thing.
Yeah, you right. RJ did break down at the funeral. To be honest with you, I liked her so much as an artist that it emotionally wrecked me. I mean, she was one of those people who I felt like I kind of grew up with in her entertainment business. Her and Mariah Carey, they were not exactly my thing. Mariah is closer to my age than Whitney, but Whitney came along, started in the industry or whatever, followed her career. I just always felt like she was like a best friend for me, you know what I'm saying, in my head. And I didn't like the choices that she made, getting stuck on that train with Bobby. I'm like, because when we make our mistakes as young ladies or whatever, and we get up, I expected her to get over hers too. I looked at Bobby as a hiccup. She was supposed to got over. Drink some water, hot water with some baking soda in it, and burp and get over it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But she just dug a hole in it. I mean, just stayed in it. She just couldn't get out.
I couldn't understand that too. How he could cheat on Whitney Houston? You're married to Whitney Houston. You're
It was
cheating.
messy. It was
I
messy.
was just like, oh,
He stayed in trouble. He was like constantly in trouble. And I'm like, Whitney, you really want to go down this road? I mean, you are a chanteuse. You are an amazing singer, a great natural actor. Why would you want to be bothered with somebody he's ruining your reputation as an entertainer? I mean, he was doing weird stuff that he should have been old. And then, of course, the age difference with them. I'm like, Whitney, come on. You could do better than this.
And then he was having fights at nightclubs because some guy was messing with the girl he was cheating on Whitney with. I'm like, what the heck?
Well, there is speculation that Whitney Houston also had a relationship with Jermaine Jackson.
Oh, well, didn't she date him?
Well, he was married. He was married, and he produced her. He was the executive producer for her debut album.
You know what? And then that video, Saving My Love.
Yes, she hired a guy actor to look just like Jermaine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she did.
Oh my goodness, Brent. Look, Brent is not sleeping, people. Brent is he's up.
Oh yeah, I love Whitney Houston. Yeah, I mean, she
had an affinity towards the bad boys.
She did, and
if
she
you
was.
Read her mom's biography, you can kind of tell Whitney was raised to be kind of like a princess, but she was surrounded by a lot of roughnecks.
Yeah, she was wild.
Mm-hmm. Her mom was Sissy. Look, Sissy was something else too. Okay, Sissy was.
I heard some stories about her, which I never thought it'd be like that. I always thought she was the Christian gospel singer, in the Baptist church, and that was kind of
was my impression too, until I read her biography, the one that she dedicated to Whitney, the Whitney I Knew, or something like that is the name of it.
Yeah, and then Whitney, I was like,
finish it. I've got so many biographies I've started and not finished. I need to finish that book. I'm trying to get it on audiobook, Brand. If I can catch it on audiobook, I'll probably definitely finish it.
Yeah, Whitney Houston, you know what? It was so hard to believe because how they promoted her. They made it seem like she was the innocent girl next door that was just.
That's how they market her. Yeah, that's how Clive wanted her marketed, but she truly was a wild girl.
Yeah, he did a good job on that because we all thought that she was an innocent girl that grew up in the church singing, and she was just beautiful and could sing, and I think a lot of people fell in love with that image that it just was innocent and beautiful, and it was like, and then you find out how her life really was, and it's like a shocker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Michael, that's not that's not Cece Winans. We're talking about Cissy Houston. Yeah, Cissy Houston was sung with the Sweet Inspiration.
Yeah, Cissy Houston was Whitney's mom.
Yeah. Cece Winans comes from the Winans family. They're from Detroit.
Are they
related? Know that they're originally Glens? They're originally Glens. Okay, so this is how it happened. When Pop Winans was a little boy, he was a child born out of wedlock. Before his father died, his dad wanted him to change his name to Winans. Actually, my Spanish teacher, remember me telling you the other night about my Spanish teacher? She's cousins to the Glens. Her name was Miss Glenn. But anyway, yes, she's related to them. But yeah, they changed their name to Winans. He wanted them He wanted all his children legitimized because he did not want their names to be different on his obituary. These different last names. Yeah. So that's how the Winans name came to be. But it all happened before he had children. But they were originally a Glenn. Pop Winans was a Glenn. Whitney was a round-away girl. Yeah, she was pretty wild. She comes from out of New Jersey. I mean, she had those brothers and stuff. Only girl. Whitney was.
Yeah.
Yep, I read Robin's book. That's a good read. Yeah, Robin, and you got to remember, too, also that Robin tells her side and Whitney can't verify it. So you got to always remember And one thing about people that are in love, they can be a little living in their own reality. I've always said if Whitney Houston really truly was gay, when she was on drugs, she would have come out. Because when you're on drugs, you don't care what anybody think of you.
Yeah.
I think that she might have had an experience. A lot of people have had experiences, but that don't make them gay.
Yeah, she might have done some things. And it could have been on drugs. Maybe she did. And maybe this woman fell in love with her.
That's what she said. She said Whitney was her lover, but Whitney never verified that. This is what I'm talking about. Whitney was out on drugs for a long period of time. If she really truly was gay, she would have come out and she wouldn't have cared. Because if you guys remember, Whitney did not care. She was wild. She was loud. She was uncouth. She was cursing, swearing, doing all kinds of. I mean, when she spun out, she spun out.
She did, and
if she really wanted to come out of the closet, she didn't care what nobody thought of her back then. She would have waved her freak flag, okay? But there's a reason why she didn't, because that's not true to who she really is. I think Robin is in love with Whitney, and she's stuck. She has never gotten over it.
Yeah, and another thing, she came out in the open with drugs and stuff. They said, well, the affair, her mom, wouldn't go for it. And yeah, I'm sure she wouldn't, but she wouldn't have gone for her drug issues either. I mean,
let me tell you, I'm going to be real. I'm just going to call it like I see it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not denying Whitney did not have an interaction with her. But you guys got to understand, if you've ever been around a person who's in love and that's a narcissist, they live in their own reality. Okay. You cannot listen to anything that they say, because you got to remember, Robin got fired. Bobby came into the picture and she cut her loose. Now, if she really truly felt something for Robin, she wouldn't have let Bobby. That's why I say Bobby was the anchor. He pretty much ran everything. He controlled a lot. But even in him controlling a lot, he couldn't get Whitney off of drugs. So if Whitney really truly loved Robin, when she spun off on drugs, she would have let it out. People on drugs do not hide who they are. It is their freedom to be who they want to be.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Do you think maybe she was bi and had sexual fantasies with women
Here's the thing.
Love men too?
It is very possible, but I don't believe that she, when you have a relationship with people, whether it be man or women, when you're on drugs, okay, so let's just say she was, let's pretend for a minute she was in love with Kevin or Jermaine. When she was on her drug binge, when she was out there being uncouth, wild, she was clinging to Bobby. She didn't cling to anything else. She didn't talk about anything else. That's what I'm saying. If she wanted her, or she wanted to really split the atoms, she could have went to Robin, clearly, because Robin still carried a torch for her. And I'm not denying that she never had any interaction with Robin. I'm not saying that. But Robin is hanging on like a scorned lover. And you have to be very careful getting into what's true coming out of somebody's mouth who is clearly obsessed with somebody. Okay. Robin has an obsession and she has never gotten over it. It's very clear.
Yeah.
Does it mean they had a relationship? Very possible. But because somebody had a relationship with someone, people, there's always someone who hangs on. But always remember, when somebody's in love with someone, especially somebody who's not good for them, the love, they're not really in love with the person. It's obsession. You know that, right? Because that relationship was never good for Robin. It couldn't have been. How could it be good for Robin if she's going to hide from Robin? Okay, so let's just say Whitney was gay. Let's say Whitney was bisexual. How does that make Robin feel that she won't even walk in the sunlight with her? Okay. Yeah. So who's hanging on and who's not? That's what I'm saying. The pathology behind it doesn't bode well. It's very clear that Robin used this as an opportunity she wanted to just unpack that she was in love with her. And
What?
it's okay. You can, I mean, she was a
Yeah,
beautiful woman. You had a relationship with her, but having a relationship with somebody doesn't make a person want and desire you. Right?
yeah.
Whitney had Ray J. She had, um, let me see, what's the guy name? The comedian,
Eddie
Eddie
Murphy.
Murphy. Yeah,
Yeah, she also Randall Cunningham, the
yeah.
quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles at the time.
Okay. This is what
And
I'm
and
saying.
that guy loved her. She
This is what I'm
probably, you know
saying.
what? He seemed like the most down to earth guy. I mean, he was a football player, but I mean, they said that he would do like
Same with me, Robin. I mean, Rothy. I don't think she was ever in love with Robin either. I just think Robin, I think
yeah,
Robin being older, she kind of pervade her. And then Whitney tried it and realized, okay, that's not for me. But Robin was hung. She was stuck on her and she couldn't get over
yeah.
it.
And maybe that was she was wild. Maybe she said, "Okay, I'll try it." Maybe she was
Yeah.
high and just
Especially at that age, she was probably around 17, 18. You can't really call someone gay at 17. The frontal lobe is not developed yet. I mean, I'm just calling what, kids experiment a lot. They don't even, some children don't even know if they're straight or gay until they reach about 19 or 20. You know what I'm saying? They're still not really sure what they feel. And nowadays, people are fluid. So they're not even hanging tags and names and stuff on. They just going with whatever they feel. I just don't know. I know that Whitney was very different than what I thought she was. I know that for
I
sure. So
well, I think we're all fooled by that. Just because
yeah,
the way they had her image,
yeah, she was
it,
definitely a packaged. But
yeah,
here's the thing that I knew what was going to happen, and this is the part that really broke my heart. Was when I saw her with doing the drugs and stuff. I was like, does Whitney ever plan on singing again? She must be done singing because I know she don't think that she can do this for like 10 years and her voice is
yeah.
going to be the same.
Well,
And then
well,
as soon as Whitney tried to come back, her voice was tragically different than what it was.
you
And
know
she
what?
couldn't get
You know
over
what
that.
it was. She was a heavy chain smoker,
Yes.
and what it did is she had emphysema too. When I was watching that documentary,
Breathy. Yeah, you could tell she was very breathy. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I mean, well, if you watched her and Bobby Brown's
Right.
reality show,
Oh,
she
yeah, the reality show, she was wild. Oh my goodness.
she was constantly smoking. I was like, oh my god.
Yes.
What one
Yeah.
thing about that is one thing that really smoking is something I just don't like. I don't like the smell of it. I think it's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought Whitney Houston was just so beautiful and everything.
Yes.
And psychologically, I found women attractive, and when I seen them smoke, is like it is just such a turn off.
Yeah.
It could take the most beautiful woman and make her undesirable.
She just
I
always
mean,
just seems so sweet. I remember the first time I
yeah,
saw her, she was on Give Me a Break. Do you guys ever remember seeing her on Give Me a Break? She played the older
I
girl's friend from school or whatever, or some little club or whatever they were in. She
I
was
think I
on there.
saw that episode
She had the
way back in the
little
day.
short fro. Yeah, and then the next thing you know, she was coming out with this debut album.
Mm.
And she just always seems very sweet to me. I mean, of
Yeah,
course, I grew up, I understood, I started to see things, and I realized, that it was all image and everything. But image or not, you could not deny her talent. I mean, this girl was knocking back album after album after album, hits after hits after hits after hits. I mean,
yeah,
she was powerful, and her voice was her gift. It was the greatest thing, the most purest thing. I mean, she was the voice. I mean, that's what they called her the voice.
yeah.
She was the gold standard for vocals. I mean, Mariah has the high octave voice, but as far as the range, that one,
Yeah,
Whitney
no,
was the voice.
Maria can't. Maria Carey can't compare to Whitney.
No.
No.
But they
I mean,
both did pretty much the same thing. Well,
yeah.
they did the same thing to their voices, because Mariah doesn't sound anything like she did when she first debuted.
Well, your voice kind of goes, but
She wrecked it though with smoking. Though she did
oh
really.
yeah, Whitney with that smoking, and I was
Yeah,
just
they both did, but Whitney, of course, had the heavier
oh
drugs and
oh.
stuff.
Did Mariah smoke too?
Mariah smoked too, and smoked everything. So
Oh
yeah, they ruined their voices. But see, the thing is that it's sort of like you grow up seeing people, like her mom was an opera singer. You grow up and seeing people with great voices and stuff in church and stuff, and you see them smoking and nothing happens to their voice. You think yours is good. Yours can survive it, but everybody's voice is different, and their voices changed. They truly changed. Range
yeah.
control skill, yeah, Rocky. I was just baffled. I really thought I was born in a very unique time to have had Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey to be like come through the same time. It was like,
Yeah.
wow. Well, Brent,
Yeah,
we'll tune it out so you can go to sleep, because you got a road trip to go through.
Oh yeah, I do, and it's already 11:26. Yeah, I need to get.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you out. Good night, everyone. I will see you
Yeah.
guys in the
Good night.
next. Always a pleasure.
I'll be on Sunday.
Okay.
I might do a prayer meeting. What I might talk about, I don't even know.
Okay. Well, you'll have some drive time. You'll probably something will drop into your
I'll
spirit.
pray about it and see what.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good night, all. Take care,
Yeah.
Brent.
Yeah. Hey, take care. Thanks for coming on.
Sure, no problem. Tell Sandy we said hi.
Okay, I sure
All
will.
right. Okay.
Good night. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming on tonight. Thanks for joining me. And I had a good time as usual tonight. And thank you, ladies, for coming on the panel. It was an awesome show. And good night, everybody. I'll see you guys Sunday evening. I will have a prayer meeting, and I'll read some scriptures, and we'll talk about some things. So you're welcome to come on that if you're interested. Um, I try to do that every Sunday. Did I forget to send you an email? I'm sorry. Okay, I'll send you an email. What was I supposed to do? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Yeah. But thank you guys for coming on, and I'll see you guys Sunday evening. And I might do a Sunday night show. I don't know. I might leave it for Monday night. That usually seems easier to do, but we'll see how it plays out. But I'll see you guys Sunday. Tomorrow night I won't be going live. I won't be doing anything Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Tomorrow I won't be doing nothing. I'll be on the road. So I'll be back Sunday, and I'll do a live show. And the info about the wedding, okay. Yeah, me and Sandy are looking for we're looking at suits, and we're trying to get a dress to match a suit I get. And it won't be black or white. It'll be, fun colors. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you for tonight. Thank you for coming on and joining me. Thank you, ladies on the panel. Had a good night. Um, I'll see you guys Sunday. Um, and God bless you and your families. And ladies, go for the best option. You are so much more valuable than settling. Okay. You should never settle for a man. Make him be a real man and earn the privilege and blessing for being with you. But anyway, guys, have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you Sunday. Have a good night.